Evening, everybody. Welcome to round 3. Welcome back to round 3 of Octane Online Racing's GT3 Sprint Series. My name is Jamie Conboy, and I am joined tonight by Alexis Bowen. Hello.
Hello. It is good to be back on a Thursday night. How are we?
I'm very well and equally excited to be commentating on a Thursday night. Usually preparing for a race on Thursday night, so I haven't actually seen Split Ascari go about their business. Very excited. There's some big names in this split.
Oh, is there ever? Well, let's see. You look at the current driver standings, and you've got like Savali Kyrun, John Sneakers, Marcus Van Vliet, Stefano Raschuti, Andre Villanueva doing very nicely leading the Pro-Am class, Regan Herbert, Doug Wilson, Matthew Lamb, as all really good names in this split.
It is a huge split, and seeing Matthew Lamb down there in P8 surprises me a little, so big performance on the way for him. Oh, the new graphics are back and looking beautiful. Did you like these last night?
These were an amazing addition last night, and I'm excited to see what they have to offer tonight.
And of course, the return of the pineapple liveries. The red ones if they don't like pineapple, and the green ones if they do. So Villanueva here displaying his intent early on. Hello, YouTube chat. Brod Godfrey's in here. Hello, mate. Good to see you. Scan on. Hello, Mrs. Tully. And to everyone else in YouTube land, welcome to your Thursday night. We haven't got Neil on board in the commentary booth just yet. The great man is feeding the necessary hamsters and obviously running the controls as well. So look forward to hearing his dulcet tones in the Becketts split, as well as a new addition to the commentary team tonight. Might just allow that to be a little surprise for you, but joining in will be Peach and Neil, and of course our debutant. As I said, I'll leave that for the boys to introduce when we get there. But until then, let's jump into kilo qualifying.
Yeah, we've got a 15-minute qualifying here at the Hungary. Honestly, a really nice track to drive in these GT3 cars.
Which one? Because the McLaren's not very fun. I don't like this track in the GT3 cars. I disagree.
Well, I have had some fun around here in the Bentley, Mercedes, Nissan, but they're all very front-engine cars, so that may cause some differences.
This track's really growing on me in an F1 car. Absolutely loving that.
Yeah, 100%. In an F1 car, it's a blast to drive unless you are stuck with the tyre physics of F1 22.
And I had to go last night in the Porsche Cup / BMW M2 race, and that was pretty fun. I jumped in the BMW, which is ridiculously slow. It's a clown car, but getting ambushed by all the Porsche Cup cars and trying not to be a menace was a lot of fun. A nice tight technical track sort of lent itself to the small BMW, I think, so that was kind of fun. But Megan D, I'm sure it is a weapon in your hands, but I just can't work out how to be fast here in the McLaren. We had 30 kilos of ballast here last season. I don't know how that was warranted or whether we're on the same patch, because it doesn't feel that strong this time, but that's probably just me being slow.
30 kilos of ballast. Yuck.
Yeah, I don't know who'd get the ballast here. Probably the Porsches and the BMWs if we were still doing...
The Porsche would probably be a good shout for ballast, because Porsche's always quite good at these sort of technical tracks. You always see it doing pretty well at tracks like Zandvoort.
So the Porsche's run by Villanueva, Doug Wilson and Matty Lamb tonight, amongst others, of course, but they're your top 10. Villanueva, just noticed his Pro-Am. He's doing very nicely up there inside the top 5 drivers, really mixing it with the pro drivers. Maybe a little upgrade to him on the way. Anyway, here comes Matthew Lamb in a Porsche. Let's see how he goes on his first run.
Yeah, Matthew Lamb's had a bit of bad luck this season. Just a few incidents that haven't quite gone his way, and Porsche moments definitely coming into play. So we'll be looking to gain some momentum back here at Hungary.
A little bit of news coming through regarding an event happening this Sunday that this man's participating in, but I'm not sure whether that's common knowledge yet. So if someone can give me a little wink, I might just reveal that, because he's well deserving of that spot. But as I said, I'm not sure if that's public knowledge yet or what the go is there, so I'm just going to bite my tongue a little for now as we watch him come around the turn 6 complex. That's a really tricky corner, that uphill, off camber, right-hander is catching a lot of drivers out in the F1 series especially, but also in this series, there's a couple that went off there last night.
Yeah, in pretty much any car, it's quite a deceiving corner. You're either gonna go too slow through a corner and knock that inside curb, or you're gonna go way wide. Oh, a bit of adjustment of the wheel there from Matthew Lamb, but still keeps it straight. Porsche looks like a bit of a handful, but he's able to tame it for now.
Took a long while to start enjoying this track, but that second sector is a lot of fun. There's just corner upon corner upon corner. There's hardly time to breathe in there. You finish one corner and you get it right, and then bang, the next one's right upon you almost immediately. So that second sector especially very fun. John Senekis and Marcus Van Vliet, the first 2 drivers to post times. Matthew Lamb comes across and goes quickest so far. Nice to see Marcus Vliet joining us tonight. He's missing his van. Might have to get sorted.
He must have sold his van somewhere along the line.
Nice. Sharp from you. Very happy to be commentating ACC with you. We don't get to do this very often. We get to commentate F1 on Sunday nights, which I'm very much enjoying. But the ACCs, I don't think we get to do this much often, do we?
Oh, well, I think was it last season or a few seasons ago we did a fair amount, but yeah, not so much recently except for the F1 series. So yeah, it's definitely good to jump in the comms booth with you.
Ascari jumping behind his AMG teammate Ali Kyrudin here. Kyrudin, another very, very fast boy. Already with a time on the board, so just warming the tyres up. This is probably going to improve.
Well, he's currently leading the championship on both overall points and net points.
Always interesting to see how those points start to develop after round 3 and we get some more results on the board. Obviously the drop round playing a little bit of havoc after 2 rounds, so you can have drivers who have had 2 really good rounds get absolutely boned and someone who didn't even show up be above them. But once you get past that 3rd round, that's when the data really starts to get involved. But yeah, Kyrudin really strong this season. 3 out of 3 podiums, 3 out of 3 on the board, and 1 win of course, so yeah, really strong up there at the top at the moment, looking very good.
At the moment, people want to look for a bit of improvement. Well, Matthew Lamb is flying a second faster than John Sneakers in P3. That is very, very quick from Matthew Lamb as Ali Kyrudin goes up into P2. Still 6/10 off of Lamb.
Yeah, that's a very nice start for Matty Lamb, isn't it? Straight into the 42s and deep into the 42s as well. So great start, Matty. Plenty of times being posted now. A vast array of times. David Bennett McNulty's got a 46.7 down there, and Nick Davidson with a 47. Although Nick Davidson just moved up the board with a nice improvement. Gunter Rowe also improving to a 44.7. Very, very tight in that midfield though. You've got a couple of outliers at the top and the bottom, but that midfield is packed in.
Yeah, like you look at the gaps between even like P5 down to P16, it's a second separating, what, 11 drivers. Quite remarkable.
Joshua Morgan. I'm not sure if this is I'm pretty sure that's a green and yellow pineapple entry. I'm not sure what sort of livery he usually runs, but he's got red text on the front. He's got red rims. I'm not sure if he's joining in the livery festivities, but I'm going to say he is. He loves his pineapple, Joshua Morgan. Hasn't posted a lap yet in the Audi. So on board with him now as he comes up into this tricky chicane.
Catch plenty of drivers out. He's trying to avoid as much curves as he can, but yeah, doesn't quite get there. So yeah, Joshua Morgan is a debutant tonight, so this is so even if this is a livery for the theme tonight, it's a completely new livery anyways, because it's a new driver.
Nice one. Good luck to him. Pretty sharp at the moment. He's got a fair bit of action happening on the wheel, so not sure if he's just scrubbing out some nerves or just driving this Audi really quickly. Could be a combination of the two. coming into the final sector now. Looking forward to seeing what sort of time he can throw up there on debut. Sean Glover is the other debutant, currently sitting in P24 with a 45.9. He's into the 45s, so if you're happy with that. He comes across and improves nearly into the 44s. Nice one. Joshua Morgan behind him up into P21. So both debutants hanging around that P20 mark. That's a great start for the debutants.
Yeah, showing some good speed so far for debutants. They'll be looking for more improvements in the future, but this is definitely a good starting zone.
This man, Organises, he's a very fast boy too. So expect him to jump well up the order in this Worn Tyre Tribe entry. Looking forward to seeing how much pace he can pull out of this McLaren. Not a great deal of McLaren drivers in this. Actually, no, there's a fair handful there. There's Aaron Lee has just improved up to P12, and Jake McKellar in there as well, along with Sabile and Appreciato. So there's a couple of McLaren. But I reckon, if I'm not mistaken, this one would be one of the quickest. Looking at the points table, it's Jake McKellar leading the way for the McLarens at the moment, but as I said, I think once those results start to shake out a little bit later on in the season, it'll be this man who's leading the way for the McLarens, looking very tight through that middle sector especially. He's clearly got a lap on here, but without one posted yet, could possibly go quicker on the next one, having warmed up the tyres.
Yeah, so far, Zaskas has been quick in the races, but has just fallen short in certain areas and has had a few issues, whether that's his fault or not. There's been issues there, but he moves up into P7. Very good time.
144.0, nearly in the 43s. Oh, is that someone in the wall back there? I reckon someone back there has just come out of the final corner and gone a little sideways. That's unfortunate for whoever that was. It was a red livery. So that's what you get for not liking pineapple and a pizza. Little visit to the pit lane for that one.
Drive-through penalty, stop go 30.
Wilkie Appreciato here. He's got a couple of fans in chat, looking to see how he goes. Another McLaren driver.
Appreciato has good pace, but no, he's not finding too much at the moment, down in P23.
Yeah, knocking on the door of those 44s, but he's in amongst 5 drivers there. 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers who are in the 45 zeros. Very, very close in around that P20 mark.
Well, there's actually 2 drivers on the exact same lap time. It's Tom McDonald and Appreciato on a 45.09 too.
Yep, and up there in P8 and 9, Stefano Rasciuti and Simon Phillips have done exactly the same thing. So how close you got to be? Split Ascari.
Let's just hope they keep these gaps only for qualifying. We don't want them exactly inside each other during the race. I mean, side by side, sure, but just not quite inside each other, thank you.
So down under 4 minutes to go now as Doug Wilson basically goes sideways through the chicane, wringing the neck out of this Porsche. And it is still Matthew Lamb leading the way, the only driver to get into the 42s. And as I said before, well ensconced in the 42s as well. So a lot of drivers need to lift their game if they get anywhere near him. The closest being Ali Kairoun, and he's a full half a second away. So really strong showing so far from Matthew Lamb. Looking to stamp his authority on this round 3 at Hungary.
Yeah, very, very fast time from Matthew Lamb. We're on board here with Aaron Lee, currently in P13.5. It's a bit wide at the apex. So we see John Sneakers has moved up into P3 now, 6 tenths back from Matthew Lamb. Going ahead of fellow BMW driver Regan Herbert. But yeah, Aaron Lee is really pushing this McLaren around the corners, taking all the curb possible. Not sure whether that's quite the fastest way around the track, but we'll see as Lee crosses the line now. Does he see any improvement? Slight improvement up into P12 ahead of Villanueva as we jump on board here with Stefano Rasciuti going into the final sector.
Speaking of the final sector, what are your thoughts on this last corner where I've seen a lot of drivers so far this evening hug the inside of that corner and take the shortest line around? You reckon that's the idea? That's another one there who just seems to be taking a really shallow line around there. I thought, and I'm happy to be corrected, please make me faster. it was more of a V-shaped deep brake, sort of miss the apex and then get a second apex, late apex type show. Got any ideas of how to take that last corner and help a slow old man?
Yeah, it sort of depends what you're trying to prioritize, I guess. If you're trying to prioritize your corner exits, then maybe it would be better doing your double apex. I mean, that's sort of what I think you'd do in these cars. But if you want more corner speed like you would in your F1 cars, then yeah, probably hugging the apex or even missing the apex to start with and coming back in on it is your best bet. As wow, Sean Glover, the P10 on debut.
Ooh, very nice. That's very sharp. Not feeling the pressure of the debut at all. Clearly done some ACC driving before. He's not shy, pumping himself up there with the big boys. That's a great effort.
Yeah, mixing it nicely with the other Porsches of Villanueva and Doug Wilson.
How many cars have we got on track tonight? We got a full complement, or is it just the 33 that fit on the timing board here? I'm not sure. I know this timing board obviously shows us a lot more than the previous one.
Looks like there's only 33 drivers based on the icon next to the Hungary thing that the mouse is over right now.
Nice, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Man in the controls. So that's a nice little timing board. The fact that it fits them all on there, that's pretty cool. We like that. Regan Herbert up to P3, still knocking on the door of those 42s, but not quite making it. John Senekis will be looking to improve. BMW has been pretty strong here, and Regan's just knocked him off that P3 spot, so he'll want it back.
Yeah, a bit of a fight between these BMWs at the moment for position on the track. Oh, got to be careful of those track limits there though, Senekis.
Glad we're on board here, because that is a putrid livery, John Senekis. That is dead set terrible. I think he's running 4-2. Clearly doesn't give a stuff about pineapple, but that livery is vomit-inducing. I'm getting a little dry retch here.
Yeah, there's a few liveries like that, but it's not helping the fact that it's on the BMW either. And is that enough?
Marcus Van Vliet, while we're watching, went up to P5. He's improved. The other debutant, Joshua Morgan's also improved up to P22. And Sabil as well, improving. Nudging himself a couple of spots. Sabil's got a couple of fans in chat too. So the fan club's coming out in force tonight, which is what we love to see.
Always love to see some fans out there as we take a look now at Simon Phillips rounding the final quarter in his Audi. Looking to move up a position or two, where we'll put him up into P9, which is now P10 because Gunther goes ahead of him.
Yeah, a lot of drivers improving now. Regan Herbert again improving. And again, just can't quite get into those elusive 42s, but he does pinch P2 from Alikai Rudin. So Regan Herbert coming fresh off a victory at the Watkins 10 hour. Takes his teammate out and says, you just hang out down there in P3 for now. Both of those drivers winning the Watkins 10 hour, Regan Herbert and Alikai Rudin. So 2 and 3 for those boys. Here comes Villanueva, crosses the line, does not improve. So it is Matthew Lamb, ladies and gentlemen, with a very, very strong time of a 42.6. And he set that very early on. Set the bar very high. And no one came close, really. He was the only one in the 42s. And a full 4/10 clear of Regan Herbert, who right there at the end pinched P2 from Kai Rudin. So interesting qualifying session. Plenty of pace out there.
Oh, 100%. And some news coming in from the stewards room. A 2-place grid penalty for car 424, Marcus Van Vliet, for ignoring blue flags in qualifying. So that moves him down from P6 to P8.
Crikey, that's an interesting one. So, yeah, failing to get out of the way of someone on their hot lap and impeding their time. So, yeah, a little whack there from the stewards. Appreciating Firelord coming in here and giving us updates from the stewards box. That is amazing.
So looks like our running order will be Matthew Lamb, Regan Herbert, Ali Coker in the top 3, then John Sneakers, Joshua Vedegaard, Anazaska, Stefano Raschuti, and Marcus Van Fleet with the 2-place grid penalty in P8. Then we have our first of the Pro-Am drivers in Gunter Rowe in P9, and Phillips, Villanueva, and Glover all together as we jump out of the car just to have a look at the clouds, and it's definitely cloudy.
Yeah, definitely overcast, isn't it? Looks a bit like Melbourne today. Melbourne had a bit of everything today. I don't know where everyone else is. Tell me where the weather was in your part of the world, but Melbourne had absolutely everything today. It had gorgeous, still sunshine, and then it had this overcast, murky kind of stuff, and then it blew a hurricane there for a while, and then it rained, and then the sun shone through the rain. It was a genuine, typical Melbourne day today.
Yeah, I mean, out west we had the rain in the morning. We didn't have the wind that you had, but we definitely had the rain in the morning, and we thought it was set in for the day. Then at about 9 o'clock, it cleared up, and it turned out to be one of the best days we've had for a while.
Plenty of drivers getting amongst the livery business in here, and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of red. There is a lot more red in this split than there was last night in, what do we do on Wednesdays? We do Ascari and Becketts on Thursday. And Sunset. Thank you, sir. Yes, there was plenty of green in Sunset, but that is a predominantly red grid. So not a lot of pineapple enjoyers in here. We'll see how Becketts fares.
I'm mildly disappointed, I won't lie. I thought there was going to be a bit more divisiveness, but guess not.
I kind of like that it's up to Becketts to decide. As I said, Sunset, definitely pro pineapple. And here in Ascari, they are definitely pineapple in the bin. So it is up to Becketts, really, to give us the general consensus and settle it once and for all. As we discussed last night, the Ginetta firmly in the pineapple camp. But they only get half a vote because they're only a GT4. And they're in a class of their own up there in P1, dominating this outlap.
Driver of the day for me, the safety car has been fantastic all day.
Start to finish, the finish being here in Sector 1.
A clean sweep for the GT4 class. That's just crazy to think.
So Matty's been on pole at both races this season. And as I said, haven't been really up to date with what's happened in Ascari so far. So if anyone out there can tell me what's happened to Matty Lamb's races so far. Right.
So at the first round, which was it Kyalami from memory, I'm pretty sure he had an incident in Sector 2 somewhere, and then was it Watkins Glen that we were at last time around for round 2? I am losing track. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he just had a Porsche moment somewhere, and yeah, he ended up disconnecting.
Yeah, that all sounds right to me. It was definitely Kyalami and then Watkins Glen. Yeah, he's got a bit of everything. He's got a win on the board. He's got a podium. He's got a top 10. I assume all of those are the same. And then, yeah, 2 poles. 2 out of 2. 3 fastest laps. Actually, that says to me we've had 3. Oh, because of the sprint race, right. So was there another pole position here somewhere?
Most likely a reverse grid.
Wayne Darwin started on pole for the reverse grid in Kyalami. So there's your 3rd pole that I was looking for. But yeah, he's clearly got the pace. So hopefully he can pull out a good result tonight, a la Michael Babb last night, who got what he deserved and threw himself up there on the podium here at Hungary. So he's got Johnson Eckes up there for company, as well as the 2 Worn Tyre Tribe boys, Regan Herbert and Alakai Rudin. It's a very stacked top 4, but as they round the final corner now, Lamb looks like he's got a little bit of an advantage there. And before they go green, he will have half a car start, just getting that grid start right. Most of the grid forming up nicely as they get underway and go green. And immediately, Regan Herbert and Alakai Rudin join battle. Lamb moves over to defend the inside. Senekis down around the outside is going to get a little interested around here and maybe lose out to those cars on the inside. We'll see how that goes. As back in the field, there's a little bit of trouble for at least one car. Looks like everyone obeyed yellow flags and did nicely through there. So green is waved and we will carry on. It is Matthew Lamb leading the way. I think that's Kai Rudin and then Herbert and then John Senekis. But John's under a lot of pressure here from Xerxes, who's gone up from 6th to 5th. I thought he had, no, scratch that. That's a McLaren. And in fact, Xerxes now under pressure around the outside from the Lambo. As the timing board sorts itself out a little bit, we'll wait until we comment too much on each driver because for me, I need that timing board. But Xerxes he's under a lot of pressure and a bit of a gap forming between himself and those up the front, and a bit of a bottleneck through the chicane there as they come through there for the first time.
Yeah, seemed to be a mostly clean start, but a few incidents towards the back that caused a bit of chaos. I think there were two cars involved, and there's a safety car.
It is a safety car. Ooh, so there must be something back there we missed, because there was the one incident, and it looked like most of them had gotten through pretty cleanly, but we must have missed a few other bits and pieces. And tattletales, it is indeed a safety car. The genetic comes out. So a good start from Lamb. He, as I said, had a bit of a half car advantage, just got the start procedure absolutely bang on. And Alikai Rudin down into turn 1, went into battle with Regan Herbert and got him on the start. So he moves up a position into P2. John Senekis looked like he was going to have a little go around the outside there at turn 1. Definitely deep on the brakes in the BMW, which it is well and truly capable of doing, but found no grip on the outside, so didn't get anything done. And then Vedica held position. Xerxes, Raschuti, Rowe all had reasonable starts, moved up a position each, but there's a few really strong beneficiaries in there under them.
There's some drivers who have had some big losses. So we've had Marcus Van Vliet down 21, Simon Phillips down 19, Wayne Darn down 19, sorry, and Villeneuve down 22 as we take a look at the replay now.
This will be what caused the safety car up in the chicane for the first time. Bit of a bottleneck up there, and it is just the concertina as cars slow up for the chicane, and the ones behind just not quite realising that they need to get on an earlier braking point, especially lap 1, sometimes lap 2. Always got to check your brake markers and
maybe even lap 3.
Yeah. So
I mean, under safety car, you definitely want to keep your braking a bit earlier just to make sure you don't hit anyone under safety car, because that would be a very, very bad thing to do.
It took a little while for the carnage to start in Sunset last night, and I say carnage, there was no safety car. It was a really clean start from Sunset last night. They got off the line really nicely. This is the mid-pack battle as we got off the line. Rocket ship start through there for the non-pineapple enjoying red and white entry. There's a few 4 wides back there in the pack, and oh, that is an immediate death. Someone has gone right up the rear of that pineapple enjoyer, and then someone's taken the Jim's mowing line down the inside there. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it doesn't look like they gained any positions from it. So it actually was not as clean as I thought it was through turn 1. We obviously saw that car get spun around, and most cars got around him pretty cleanly, but it was prior to that, on the straight coming down into turn 1. Again, some cars braking a little bit earlier, and the cars behind them not respecting that.
Yeah, I think just a bit of awareness needs to be had for a few drivers. And I mean, the start procedure seemed to be a bit scuffed anyways, because there are a few drivers who maybe had too much of a gap to cars in front, or maybe weren't quite in line with each other. So will need to be stuff that gets looked at post-race, but what's done is done, and now that they have a chance at least to get back in onto the lead pack.
Good question, Don. I don't know if there's a DNF in the pits. Hopefully not. There was obviously a car that got put into the wall pretty aggressively, so hopefully they're just in there repairing damage and they can get back out on track. When the safety car was called, there was someone in the pits at the time. So they've obviously returned to pits. They'll have their controls locked for a certain amount of time while they repair the car and the pit crew come out there and make changes and whatnot. But hopefully they get back on track, because it is the best way to go about it, even if you're at the back of the field, just to get back out on track and get your practice in and enjoy your racing with the boys. That's what we're all here for, to get around our friends and have a crack at it regardless of the position. So yeah, I hope they repair that damage and get back out there.
Yeah, all just about having a bit of fun, so would be a shame to see someone get knocked out of a race this early on, considering it is an hour-long race.
An hour-long race with one mandatory pit stop. So that mandatory pit stop won't be covered. You're not allowed to complete that under safety car, I don't think. I'm almost entirely confident you can't. I know you can pit under safety car, which a couple of cars are doing, but it doesn't count towards your mandatory pit stop. Stewards will be red hot on that one. Just gives them a chance to repair any damage and hopefully catch up to the back of the grid and resume racing. But yeah, still one mandatory pit stop to come for all drivers, where they'll change their tyres and whack some fuel in. Firelord letting us know that the safety car is coming in this lap. That's the generator up there pulling away.
Or pulling away as much as it can.
No little generator. Matty Lamb will lead us away once again, not for the first time tonight. But this time he'll have Alikai Rudin for company down into turn 1. So we'll see if Ali being up there in P2 and the safety car restart, meaning that it won't be too wide down there. They'll all be single file down into turn 1. We'll see if this occurs any differently, as Matty's very patient around that last corner. Waits and waits to get on the throttle and doesn't really create much of a gap in doing so to Kai Rudin.
I reckon he's created a good enough gap for now, considering that Mercedes would be fairly quick in the straight line. So being able to maintain the lead, that's good from Matthew Lamb.
Good single file restart. Most of the top 10 getting through in single file, nice and safe. There was a few too wides back into turn 1 back in the field, but no yellow flags by the look of it, so on we go. 52 minutes to go.
Yep, good clean restart there, so we can finally get this race with some green flag running, and hopefully no interventions now, so we can just see some good racing as we see a bit further back. There's Connor Hind on Aaron Lee, and there's more battles going as that's Reynard Blitz dropping down the field slightly down to P23.
There's a few drivers who've got the red box and dropped back a couple of positions, so a few little errors.
We've got a 10-second penalty for car 9. Car 9, that is Todd McDonald, for causing a collision on lap 1.
Tell you what, David Bender McNulty up 10 positions and inside the top 20. He's doing very nicely. He's not far behind this little battle here as Aaron Lee chases around Connor Hind.
Bender's just the goat.
Connor is well and truly against pineapple based on that livery. That is as bright a red as you are going to see, as well as the rims and the rear wing and almost everything on that car is very anti-pineapple. Matty Lamb also anti-pineapple. Down into the first quarter, he still leads from Kai Rudin, Herbert, Senekis and Vedica. Xerxes, Raschuti, Rowe and Wilson just a little bit further back in the second battle pack. Doug Wilson in the Porsche trying to chase down Gunter Rowe. Hello, Paul. Yes, indeed, it is a new overlay we're working with here. It is pretty much brand new to us, so of course we're still just working out a few little kinks. And there's a few things that we would like to have added, but all in all, very spicy looking, very nice. Got the little ticker take up the top. It's actually got 2 tickers. You've got the one down the bottom as well, showing track position. And we love, I tell you what, I'm very much in love with the car manufacturers and their color coding and how pretty they look. It's a very good looking timing board.
Very snazzy. Oh, there's some side. Oh, that's
oh, no.
crash mover.
So I think that was kind of high in there trying to take advantage of the incident in the chicane.
Oh, no.
And it's starting to kick off a little bit now. Oh, that
Careful
was
of yellow
very
flags.
close.
Careful of yellow flags.
Oh, Connor nearly got involved again there. But you're spot on.
There's
This car's
yellow
doing...
flags, people. Come on.
They've all dodged the carnage so far. Oh, that one wasn't interesting going around the inside, taking the very wide line. That poor car parked there, doing the right thing and just held firm, just stayed patient, didn't move, and that's exactly how you rejoin, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, even if it's not your fault, which in that case I don't think it was that car's fault, he just had to sit there, be patient, wait for everyone to go past, and as much as it hurts, that is a proper rejoin. Nice work.
It was a good rejoin, but some of the drivers behind need to be way more careful with yellow flags. You can't just keep flying through part of the track where there's a car stranded. That's just not safe, and you're bound to ruin your race if you keep doing that.
Yeah, it looked a little close for comfort. So this is Wayne Darwin moving up behind Tom Kidman. Pineapple v no pineapple. Doesn't get it done down the inside. Has a little look, shows his nose, puts himself in the mirrors, but thinks better of it. But Wayne, after a poor start and being at the rear of the field's made up a few positions from those drivers with that error. So up to P27 now, and still a very long race ahead of him. So looking for the recovery drive is Wayne.
You'll be looking to make up positions. It's not easy to overtake around here though, so we'll need to take advantage of all the opportunities that come his way.
Opportunities being the key word there. It's yeah, very difficult to overtake, but look how many position changes we've got. So it's certainly not impossible to change positions and make up spots, but as you said, it's all about opportunity and being in the right place at the right time, keeping it smooth and steady until then.
We've got a battle here for P8 between Gunther and Doug Wilson as we jump to the instant replay. I would say this is what happened earlier through Sector 2, just up ahead you see a bit of an incident. Just a bit too aggressive there from Connor Hind.
Oh, I don't know. I thought originally it was probably a little bit ambitious and he was trying to send it through there on a disadvantaged car, but I think it was just wrong place, wrong time really there, Connor. He came into the corner at his normal approach and it's probably just a little bit late spotting that there was an incident ahead, and the incident was innocuous too. It wasn't like he saw a massive collision. It was just a car parked on the apex really, so a bit unlucky there for all drivers concerned. And Connor back down in P22 now, which is only 2 spots down on his original starting position, so not shabby really. He's got a long race ahead of him, but yeah, a bit unlucky there. That's a great question, Swampy. We don't have the live timing link up at the moment, but I'm sure the hamsters in the background can have that arranged just for you and your swampy butt.
Moving away from swampy butts, we have a...
It's a mental image, isn't it?
As I was saying before, we have a battle for P8. That's between Gunther Roth, Doug Wilson, and Benny Piper. So this is a solid battle for P8. They're all very close on track. We have a look at the replay. Ooh, this is a what happened here at sector.
So it was the fault of 73. So they've done the right thing. Their rejoin was proper. But I don't know, if I put my steward hats on, they just stuck their nose where it wasn't really supposed to be there, and they caused that. So yep, fair enough that they had to go to the back of the field for that one.
Yeah, they probably gave themselves a penalty there, but it was required because you can't just come back on track when there's drivers coming through, especially when they sort of don't know which way they should go, because you had some going left, some going right. Yeah, it's one of those things that you get around the track like this. It's so technical. David McNulty's in P14. Hello.
Doesn't practice, by the way. Absolutely flying at this rate. Not trying to curse the man. Actually, you know what? I am, because as soon as I left the stream last night, he said, let's curse him. So you know what? What a race Bender is having. An absolute ripper. Can't be going any quicker. In fact, if he went quicker, he would be in the top 10, which I think he's on his way to with this kind of performance.
Oh, he's getting loose though. He's got Appreciato right on the back of him, so he's got to be careful, but so far having a really, really solid race.
Maybe it's working. He's in such good form this season, is David McNulty.
He's run wide.
It's working. Oh, no. Oh, he's done well there. He's done well. He's made up a lot of positions so far, but that was intelligent driving there from the most factual man in OR. Didn't want to go too wide through that chicane, so just opened the door a little bit there for Appreciato, who gladly stepped inside. So they switch positions, and now Bender under a little bit of pressure here from Jake McKellar.
To a Bender watching this back, I have nothing to do with that. That was all on JC.
That's what he told you. He cursed me last night. He tried to curse me last night, so I'm getting him back. How you liking that endurance vote, Bender? How you liking that? Let's go. Yeah.
Car 73 is picked up 10-second penalty for that collision on lap 5, the one that we saw before.
That's definitely improvement I would love to see, is the penalties. We're missing those. But we've got our man Firelord in here, and he's helping us out. So he'll tally those up for us, and we'll keep an eye on them as we come into the later stints. I'm sure he'll let us know if any of those still exist while we're watching a battle, or for the top drivers. The top drivers at the moment, of course, still being Matthew Lamb, who's pulled a bit of a gap from Ali Kyrudin now. Kyrudin under pressure from Vettiger. Regan Herbert is dropping backwards through the field as we speak, so I'm not sure if he's in the pit lane or he's had a bit of an issue somewhere potentially. I hope it is the former.
Based on the fact that he stopped dropping down, I reckon he's had an issue.
Yeah, there is a car in the pit lane, but no cars went past it as he was dropping down the field, so I think you might be right, Alex. That's a very wide line there from Villanueva. He's going to lose out to Stevie Lewis there, I think. Connor Hind on a bit of a recovery drive here after an early incident. He's got Reynard Blitz for company. Reynard, a very fast driver. That is Ascend. Is that Ascend on Reynard Blitz, or is that a blue flag potentially?
No, that's not a blue flag because the gap was only 10th of a second. So I reckon once we go through this split here,
absolutely.
Change position.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm not sure if Reynard made a mistake or Connor was ambitious or a bit of both, but absolutely clean as you like, straight through the hole.
Oh, here's a battle. Oh,
bang.
Tap.
Side panel smack.
Nice heads up aware driving it by the Audi there. Of was that?
Hidman there was aware of what was happening in front of him. Yep, spot on from you.
And car 7 is a 5-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 3. Car 7. That's Reynard Blitz.
That may be why Connor got one done so easily. If Reynard's been involved in an incident, he might be carrying damage. So, that is a Tokyo Drift. Oh, nearly made it around, and then the BMW came and gave him a little help. Is that Senecas?
Yes.
I think that might be what happened to Regan Herbert.
That's unlucky. That is very, very unlucky.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that was Senecas' fault either. He was going as slow as he possibly could, and Herbert just unfortunately sideways around turn 1. So, again, not trying to wear the steward's hat all night long, but I think that might be just, as Sam Bugden said, that might be just an unfortunate one.
Yeah, I think that one's just going to be an unfortunate racing incident there. Nothing either party could do.
But of course, the stewards have many more angles than we do, so that's why we don't wear the steward's hat here in the commentary booth. They've got all the angles and the inputs and the telemetry and everything you could possibly need, so can't be that hard being a steward. Right.
What we can focus on, though, is this battle for P3 between Josh Vettiger and John Senecas. Straight line speed of that BMW. It's got much better brakes than that Ferrari. We're trying to go around the outside, get side by side, but nothing doing. Try a bit of a switchback. Gets the inside line. Can he get the run out of the corner? No, not quite. There's not really an overlap there, so it'll be another lap, and that Josh Vettiger gets to stay in P3, although John Senecas is hammering the back of that Ferrari.
Yeah, Vettiger is wearing Senecas like a glove here. He's all over the back of him, is John. John potentially thinking he may or may not have a penalty on the way. So just trying to get some moves done. He's all over Vettiger here, looking very strong. Not that Vettiger's looking out of control or anything. Vettiger looks pretty smooth and calm and composed, and if he keeps it on the right lines, he'll be just fine. But yeah, Seneca's putting him under pressure.
Meanwhile, towards front, Matthew Lemps just having a good race, although Ali Kairoon's kept that margin about 2.5 seconds, so it's definitely not stretching out. Had a similar thing happen at Watkins Glen, but between those two, I'm pretty sure. Although I believe at that time it was Kai Rudin who was in the lead of the race.
What sort of hat is the steward's hat, Alex? I was going to say a fireman's helmet. Bowler hat is a good shout from Tarks. That's stylish.
Bucket hat, the KFC bucket hat.
Or Scarn and like that. If he's still around, he'd be pretty pleased with that. Not quite his main go-to hat, but I'm sure he'd be a bucket hat enjoyer.
2 secs, JC. We've got a battle here between. Oh no, autopilot's been.
Meanwhile, here's Lance Stroll.
The autopilot's got us again.
Oh dear. Well, John's still in P4 and Vettiger in P3, so we'll just safely assume that that one didn't get done, but it was looking spicy. But yeah, we've got a little bit of autopilot action happening here. This is Jake McKellar. Is that the 111 car? Yes, great number that. Oh, that's a move.
Dive there. That is Josh Morgan, debutant.
Joshua Morgan forcing that door open.
And he's going to get the move done, I reckon, and he has. Good move.
Straw hat from Scarn. Let's go. Is that a Bunnings straw hat? I've got a Bunnings straw hat. It's one of the best things I own. I've got a mortgage and 2 kids. That Bunnings straw hat.
Hold on. 2 secs. I'm just catching up on some of the chat. Car 100, Josh Vettiger, 10-second penalty for being out of position at race start.
Ooh, that's a whack. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few of those. It's the only one we're seeing so far from Philo, but we did say that start was a little bit haphazard in a few places. But there's one for you. The stewards are all over that kind of stuff. If you're going faster than 80 or if you're out of position, they'll get you.
Oh, yes, they will. And this time it's Josh Vettiger in P3 that's had to pay the price. But Josh Morgan's on a flyer as we jump back to a different battle. Benny Piper and Doug Wilson. Looks like Doug's managed to get the move done on Benny Piper.
Oh, he has. Yeah, nice. I was trying to work out what you were talking about, and then the timing board updated, and I realised that you were spot on. Great call. Although Ben, I was going to say he's not done, but I was a little bit closer to turn 1 than I thought it was. He's tucked in behind there. So, yeah, nice work from Dougie Wilson.
And we've got Firelaw in chat confirming that 100 is the only penalty for race start.
Oh, okay, nice. All right, well, it's not as bad as we first thought it was.
Still, that's a very high-profile race start penalty, considering it's up in P3. As Stefano Raschuti moves up into P4. I believe John Sneakers is in the pits.
Oh, I hope that's the case. He's dropping back through the field. Not sure how many
I do see a few dots in the pits, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's John Sneakers and Aaron Lee in the pits.
I'll have to try and make those dots a little bit bigger. I don't know if you were watching last night during the Porsche BMW, but the dots were the size of the screen, and I was here for it. It was amazing. Octane Online Racing.
Octane Online dots. No need for the racing.
No, very customizable, this new overlay. Very sharp. Very, very big fan. In its infancy, of course. But yeah, I'm partial to new things. I'm all about that. So yeah, looking sharp so far.
Car 6, 10-second penalty. That is David McNulty for causing a collision on lap 4. Bend the curse active.
We've got him.
What if you'd done as... Oh, hold on 2 secs. That's Doug. Was that Doug having a look at a move on Gunther Rowan? Gunther having a look. Oh no, that's a blue flag car. Never mind.
He's feeling very racy though, is Dougie?
Oh yeah.
Looking very sharp in that very bright Porsche, it must be said. It's a very deep, dark purple and a very fluorescent green.
It's actually a really nice, solid livery, that. I rate it.
I'm glad you do, because I didn't want to be the first person to say it, but I'm a massive fan of that. Is that chrome purple?
It sort of looks like a metallic purple combined with... Oi! That was loose from the BMW. That was Regan Herbert, I'm pretty sure that was. But yeah, just back on the Porsche, I'm pretty sure that's a metallic purple with a... What's that? A matte pastel mint sort of colour.
He's partial to a good livery, is Doug. He's just thrown his hat into the custom hat and said, I'm really good at making liveries, so if you want me to do it, I'll do it. But he wants out-of-the-box ideas. He doesn't want any of this bog standard stuff. He wants you to come at with your weirdest ideas, and if he likes it, he'll throw it together. Some of the creations he's come up with.
Oh, here we go.
He's looking super pacey. He wants this battle.
Oh, so close to contact between those two. I think Gunther just made a slight error, and they're still going, no. We've got Doug Wilson into the pits, so he's the first to react from this queue. Can he get a bit of an undercut on these two?
I wonder if he's just undercutting here, or if he has actually just planned for this. It is now 30 minutes into the race. Goodness me, time flies when you're having fun, Alex.
Wait, already?
Yeah, tell me about it. I was just looking at it. Hang on, really? We're doing a 45-minute... What is this? So I don't know whether he's just planned for that and he's run out of fuel, or if he is going for the undercut, but he's looking very quick. So when he comes back out, we'll see if he gets into some space. And if he does... Tell you what else I am also very interested in seeing here is whether he gets a little orange box next to his name. I think they might be mandatory completed. Although there's like S2s and S1s going on in there, I think, and some...
Yes, so I'd assume that would be the number of stops.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so Josh Breen down there's done 2 stops.
So I believe at this stage, our current valid stopper is John Sneakers, because I believe Villanueva and McDonald stopped under the safety car, which means they'll need to come in for their mandatory stop later on.
Yeah, all right. It's making sense. It's starting to click. I like it.
Because I'm pretty sure the 6L or 10L or 1L or whatever it is shows us when they've actually come into the pits.
Yes. Senecas came in on lap 12. Okay. And then on his current stint. CS.
Oh, no. Doug. Oh, Fire Lords had to retract a message in chat.
Oh. We've been visited by Ben. Message retracted Curtis under the guise of Fire Lord. That is a sand and a boot. Play on. All's well that ends well. Villanueva and Lewis coming together there.
Villanueva's got to be a little careful here. I believe he's already running a penalty. And unfortunate, it's Doug Wilson with a 10-second penalty for speeding in pits.
Oh dear. Well, that's going to put a really big thorn in his side. But he's been racing for position, for track position. He's been looking really good. So not to say that he can't make up 10 seconds. Yeah, that's disappointing for him. Maybe just getting a little bit too racy for his own good as he came into the pit lane.
Did think he came into the pits just that little bit too quick before. But anyways, we'll see where that puts him later on in the race. There's still 30 minutes to go.
That gap at the front's closed. Kai Rudin has just shaved a few tenths off there. So probably a little bit to do with blue flag traffic, but yeah, good form from Kai Rudin, just letting Matty Lamb know that he's not done with this. This race isn't over yet as we come very close to the halfway mark.
I'll say the gap between Lamb and Kai Rudin has stayed fairly stable, with Kai Rudin just very, very, very slightly bring that down each lap. So I reckon that could be a factor of Kai Rudin maybe just having a slightly better pace in that Merc at this stage. Oh, that's a late decision from Charles Bach.
Cross over the pin entry line there.
Yeah, I reckon he may have. But,
Gets involved in the Audi's business there as they come over the pit line. I'm not sure whether the Audi was going too slow or whether Charles was going too quick. I'm not sure what happened there.
No, that was Benny Piper. Benny Piper in the Nissan. That was
that orange and blue one in Nissan, is it? Oh,
yes.
no, the green one's in Nissan. Oh, I'm confused. You've lost me.
So you can see in next to the CS, which has the current stint laps.
Yeah, it's got their manufacturer there. Yeah, but I was just confused as to which car I was looking at. That's all.
Nah, that's fair enough.
A paddling. That's a paddling. Someone's getting a paddle in there. Someone was going too slow or too fast. Not sure which was which.
It looks like Rowe just pretty much stopped on the pit line. I don't know what that was, but it was just absolutely making sure he wasn't speeding in the pits, or I don't know.
Well, again, the stewards have all of the data, all of the telemetry, so they'll have a close look at it, and they will work it out.
Okay, so I reckon Charles Clark may have actually crossed the pit line illegally, and like he started going into the pits, then came out, and then did decide not to go in because showing S1 15 laps on his thing. So I reckon the game has seen that he's half entered the pits and has picked that up in the overlay, but he actually hasn't come into the pits.
Oh, someone's doing donuts. Someone's doing donuts in the grass back there. Not sure who that was. Sorry to catch you off there, Alex. Someone was just doing little spinny whoopsies in the grass back there. It was a little bit interesting to me. Apologies.
Oh, that's all good. Car 26 with a speeding in pit lane penalty. That is
Stewards.
Benny Piper.
Speeding in the pit lane, right? So
that was Benny Piper. So I guess Rowe was actually going at the speed limit. It was Benny Piper who was speeding and caused that contact in the pits.
Oh, Matty Powell's in chat. Excellent. Bit of adjustment needed to get comfortable position. Okay, he's out tonight. That's disappointing. Tell you what, that man has been absolutely kissed on the special parts because he ordered some Huskenveld sprints no more than 48 hours ago, and they arrived at his door today. So we thought, oh my goodness, there's a sneaky chance he gets them installed and he has a crack tonight, but he's just saying, no, he's not feeling entirely comfortable with them, so won't be participating in Split Becketts straight after this. But goodness me, how about that? Getting Huskenvelds delivered in 2 days.
Kai Runen is in the pits.
Lamb still on track, going for the long stint.
Just getting a bit of explanation of what everything means in the chat. So CS, as I was saying before, current stint on tyres, while S1 is 16 laps, which means 16 laps with stint 1 on the tyres.
Yep, as you so rightly put. So very astute observations from you, Alex. That's why you're here. Very sharp stuff. I'm just sitting. There's too many numbers and colours and stuff. I'm freaking out, but you've got me sorted.
So Kyrun's come out in a bit of clean air here. He's got 9.4 seconds to Stevie Lewis in front. So might be able to work an undercut here, possibly.
Couple of drivers up the front going for the Bender strat. Bender being one of those. Interested to see who can pull the longest of the Bender strats there. Matty Lamb.
Although there's plenty of drivers in the pits now. You can see a lot of drivers have come in on lap 18 of their stint. So you had Connor Hine, Dave McNulty, Jake McKellar, Will Capricciotto, and Charles Clark in the pits.
It's a great move there from Marcus Van Vliet up the inside of Simon Phillips. It's just put the car in the right place and was very aggressive on the entry, but he got it absolutely right. Hit the apex and closed it off. Great move.
I'm liking this though. It's showing us the pit transfer time of each driver.
A what?
So you see next to the S1, you've got like 113, 112, 126, 115.
Little time running down there, yeah.
That is the pit transfer time.
explain to me what a pit transfer is.
Yeah, the time you take to drive through the pits.
Oh, okay. So like what? I know that is something else. What am I thinking of? The pit delta.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's a good indication of whether they got their pit stop right, and got up on the jacks at the right time, and whether or not they served any penalties. And geez, when you put it like that, the gap between Xerxes and Vetiga, for example, a 13-second difference in their pit stops is probably exactly why Xerxes is now in front of Vetiga.
Hold on. So the gap between Lamb and Lewis is 56 seconds. The gap between Lewis and Kyrune is 5.6. At this stage, Kyrune's going to be well ahead of Lamb.
Look at all of the data we have. This is amazing.
Although I guess that doesn't account for the fact that entering in the pit lane, you are cutting the last corner. So we'll have to see what that ends up being by the time that everything's done.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting when that shakes out. Lamb can't be far away from pitting. It is just himself and Steve Lewis who are yet to pit. Steve Lewis doing the bender strat properly. And up there in P2 looking very fine, up 27
Red
positions.
flag it, please. There's here we go. Matthew Lamb is in the pits. And yeah, it's pit stop. Timer starts as he enters that pit lane section. So we'll see how long this lasts. And whether we will see a bit of side-by-side go on between Kyrune and Lamb. Kyrune just going through middle sector now. Who's your money on here, JC?
Oh, well, as we saw, Kyrune definitely had the pace in the Mercedes towards the later half of that stint. So I'm surprised Lamb didn't pit a little bit earlier. Maybe he had space and didn't want to drop into traffic or didn't want to run the risk. Trying to delay time here to give myself a little bit of extra breathing room to maybe make a good assessment, but I'm running out of time, so I tell you what, I reckon it's a race down to turn one. I reckon it's going to be that close, and the Lamb with the inside line will come out in front.
Kyrune's actually worked this brilliantly because Steve Lewis is into the pits.
He's coming around the final corner already, is Kyrune. Lamb's up off the jacks, and he is at the front of the pit lane. This is going to be close. Lamb being at the front of the pit lane gets on the gas nice and early, and I think he's going to have this one covered. He is in the inside line, and he crosses over the pit line there a little bit, but...
Cold tyres though, cold tyres, and he's not going to quite have the exits.
Kyrune right there with him, though. It was a 2-second gap. It's definitely not a 2-second gap now. And as you said, Alex, Kyrune's got the nice warm tyres now, so if he's going to get it done, it's going to be soon. But I don't know, I just don't feel like there's enough space on this track for drivers of this similar pace to get anything sharply. Lamb's a very high-quality driver. He'll put that car in all the right spots.
Okay, so it seems Lamb had 6 seconds longer in the pits.
He did, yeah. Well, whatever the reason for that, that's where the gap has disappeared to. So indeed, yeah, we're seeing Kyrune all over the back of Lamb now. But again, as I said, I just don't feel like Lamb will be giving up this position easily at all. He'll throw that Porsche in all the right spots. And the Porsche's pretty good at defending because it can brake late. And it's got good drive out of the corners, so...
Only thing it doesn't have is that pesky straight line speed.
He's all over him, but Lamb looking strong now. Those tyres will come into temperature soon. If there was ever going to be a time, it is down into turn one. After this final corner, Kyrune's got to get a good run out of here. He absolutely chucked it in on entry, and he got a nice late apex. And it looks like he got a reasonable exit, but it's not a long pit straight. So unless he gets a really nice suck down here...
He is closing, and Lamb's having to defend. Lamb is having to defend, so this is crucial now. This is the battle to the end of the race. Kyrune having a slight look, but thinking better of it. Yeah, Lamb's having to defend a bit. This might be quite good here for Kyrune. And will this invite Sneakers into the party as well.
Ooh, 6 seconds back to Sneakers. And he's got Ricciuti for company.
I mean, if these two are fighting...
Yeah, but is he fighting with Ricciuti at the moment?
No, Ricciuti is 6.2 seconds behind Sneakers.
Oh, I thought that was leader. It is interval. My apologies. Yeah, you're right. Sneakers plenty of clear air. At least the cars that he's racing. I'm not sure whether he's in a bit of traffic, but yeah, you're right. Could be joined by Senekis in the next couple of laps.
Just a matter of whether Kyrune and Lamb keep fighting, or whether they or whether Kyrune just waits it out until the end of this one to try and go for a move.
Hey, what's Stefano Ricciuti having a nice little week? Did nicely last night to win the BMW M2 race in the Porsche Cups, and up there in P4, having gained 4 positions. He's having a good little week here in Hungary. There's Stefano.
Might be a bit of a lucky track for him. Gets a bit of extra luck coming here and puts together some better races maybe.
Here we go again, around the final corner. It looks like Lamb this time got the better exit, and I think Kyruden a little bit too far back to challenge this time. Yeah, he knows it too. Didn't even show his angle, just sort of took the wide entry and tried to get the ideal line. And I think Lamb knows now those tyres are warm. He doesn't need to do too much defending anymore. He's taking those ideal lines, and that could be it for now. Kyruden will just have to settle in and tuck behind and potentially wait for some blue flag traffic to come up, see if that can throw a spanner in Matty Lamb's works. But Matty Lamb looking really strong here from pole.
The current fastest lap is a 43 flat from Matthew Lamb. That is rapid.
It's unreal.
It's unreal. So there's your wish answered, Capano. I hope you're happy to see a 43 flat in a race. That's just ridiculous.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm a little speechless up here at the moment. That's insane. I'll be happy with a 44 in qualifying tonight. They do a 43 flat in race pace. Goodness me. Woo! Very, very, very fast. And as we said, we spoke about it early, like there's plenty of fast drivers. There's plenty of people in the 43s for race pace. That top 10 is really strong. There's a couple of drivers outside the top 10 who should be in there, who've had, you know, a few little incidents. This is a very, very strong split. Yeah, 42.6 was indeed the pole time from Matty Lamb. He was the only driver to get into the 42s.
Yeah, so very, very quick is Matthew Lamb, and it is having a much better race than he has been at some others. Van Vliet having a battle here with Matt Nippers. Matt Nippers has just quietly been having a good race up in the P13.
Yep, dragging the pace out of that Nissan.
Definitely need to drag it, considering how heavy that Nissan is.
Benjamin Piper, his Nissan teammate, also doing nicely there. 12 and 13 for the two Nissan boys.
Yeah, solid race so far for the Nissans. The other Nissan of Connor Hind down in P21 after that incident earlier on in the race. Yes, Paul Berger, Lamb did have Porsche moments in the two prior races, so he's had a few issues so far, but he's been keeping it clean in this race so far, and he's got about 8/10 of the gap, so doing very nicely.
Yeah, spot on from you, Dunn. I reckon Marcus has done pretty well here. He was a lot further back, so he's come through the field. He's still 8 positions down on where he started, so clearly out of position and putting Matt Nippers under a fair bit of pressure here, but it has been a really good drive so far to bring himself back up here into the top 15. And yeah, I don't reckon he's done yet with 15 minutes to go. If he can get past Nippers, he'll close down that gap to Piper pretty quickly too, I think. Might still be on for a cheeky top 10 if things go his way.
Yeah, he's still definitely in with a shot of P10 as we jump down to a battle here between Bree and Villanueva.
Ooh.
Villanueva around the outside. Hello.
Yes, sir. On Josh Breen. No easy feat. Now Connor Hind now looking interested as well up in the chicane. It never, ever works into the chicane, Connor Hind. So, again, Connor Hind in part of an incident that he comes off second best for. Josh Breen just carries off into the sunset like nothing happened. He'll have a bit of wear and tear on the side panels, but other than that, didn't lose any positions. He'll be okay with it. But Connor, just got to take it a little bit easier there, son. That's not the place to be sending it through that chicane.
Yeah, still an AM class driver, so still learning the ropes, but yeah, definitely needs to be a bit more careful with a few of those moves. Gotta really calculate when you can make them, otherwise you're gonna get yourself caught up in incidents like that. Well, your bender curse hasn't quite worked as well as you planned, because he's still up 5 positions on his start as Andre Seville. Oh, Seville going slowly around the final corner.
Yeah. Something's happened there that we missed. There's a couple of slow drivers happening there. Connor Hind is involved again here. He's all over it tonight. He's getting a lot of screen time.
I think that's Bender. He's just gotten past him.
It's the Ferrari there of Mitchell Bendyke, and you're right, it is Bender defending the inside there from Connor Hind. Bender still out in front of that one. And I'm just going easy on him with the curse too, by the way. He's doing all right, is Bender. I'm just leaving him alone. I'm not going to curse him too hard. I just want him to do well, but not too well. So up in a P21 he goes. Probably on for a top 20 finish here is Bender, because he's driving that well. Here's your replay. That's a wide exit there. So clearly already issues as we come into the final sector. Around we go.
Just a little bit of a nudge of that inside wall. Unfortunate for Seville, but keeps going. Still in P24, 1 position up on where they started.
If you finish a position or 2 up on where you started, that's a win.
Van Vliet's in the pits.
Ooh, what's happened there? He's already done his mandatory, so we were talking about him. Was that a curse as well? We were just saying how well he was doing on his recovery drive. Maybe he's doing a drive-through. I don't know if he's stopped or not.
I think that's a drive-through.
That might be a track limits drive-through. Of course, we don't get to see penalties pop up. I reckon that might be a track limits drive-through.
Yeah, 38 seconds. He's out of the pits. That was a track limits drive-through for Marcus Van Vliet.
That's the first and only one we've seen tonight on a track that we reckon you can get punters. A few corners, 4 and a few others that you can get track limits on. So surprising we've only seen one.
Sector 2 would be big for the track limits. Really unfortunate there for Van Vliet. Yeah, jump up with Kyrone. Still behind Matthew Lamb, but gap seems to have stabilised a little bit now, and maybe Kyrone comes into his own towards the end here. We do know that he had better pace throughout that second stage of the stint, so we'll see as Sneakers 8.3 seconds back on this.
Yeah, that gap's extended a little bit between 2 and 3, so Seneka's just happily cruising along in here in P3. That's the Kovac strat here at Hungary. Babby doing the same thing last night. He was just in his own little land, and he was very happy with that in P3, doing his own business. And Seneka's doing the same here, so he'll happily pick up P3. Raschuti, a very good drive so far, up 4 spots, and probably in the same sort of boat. He's a good 6 seconds behind Seneka's, so probably won't be too keen on catching him in the last 11 minutes. He'll just want to keep it nice and tidy, and he'll be probably happy with P4, I would suggest. But yeah, that battle up the front, that's going to be the one to watch in the last 4 or 5 minutes, just to see if any blue flag troubles occur and make that any spicier than it needs to be. We obviously hope that's not the case.
2 secs, we've got battle here between Bendyk and Hind. Hind just holding on for now, but Bendyk's going to get the better exit. Tries around the outside, we'll have to switch to the inside. We'll get a good slip straight down towards turn 1, you'd reckon. Like this, it is a bullet in a straight line.
Yep.
Still, had a look.
I thought he was going to have a little look there.
But I mean, he doesn't need to go for it, because Hind does have a 5-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 23. While the car we're on board with now, Seville, has a 5-second penalty for unsafe rejoin, and the safety car has a stop and go 30 for rolling onto the track from pit lane.
Who's in the safety car? Name and shame. Name and shame. Who is in the safety car? That is not okay. Just making a cameo onto the track, rolling. Forgot to put the handbrake on. Come on. Name and shame. That is a paddling of the largest variety from Neil Alexander. He's coming after you. Goodness me.
Oh no. We have under 10 minutes to go here, and the battle for the lead is on.
Oh, this has been a blast. I love commentating with you guys. This is great.
Oh, Van Vliet's in the pits again.
No! What? Surely he didn't speed in the pit lane and then cop the drive-through for that, which you don't have to serve because that gets reduced to 10 seconds, but maybe he served it too quickly. And oh, what are we doing? Come on, Marcus.
So safety car was left in gear whilst the driver was reviewing an incident.
Put the handbrake on. Turn the engine off. Oh no, that is a 1 week suspension for that safety car driver. That is for sure. Can't have that. Goodness me.
No, Van Vliet
Is this the replay of the safety car rolling out of the pit lane? Oh, what are we watching? Oh, how dangerous. Did they roll onto the track? Surely not. Oh, little boop on the wall there. And that's when the force feedback would have kicked in and they would have been like, oh my God, what the hell is happening? And then they've come out of their review and they've seen themselves rolling onto the track.
What is going on?
Oh, name and shame. You know what? Hey, car 30. Oh, no. I think that's position. I was going to say they're number 34. You could probably track down who that is. Oh, chuck it in reverse. Beep, beep. Oh, no.
Imagine if the safety car got disqualified for reversing.
Oh, scenes. Oh, there we go. Well, we've had a little bit of everything here tonight. On-track overtakes at Hungary are rare to come by. I've had a few of those.
I think I retract my statement from earlier. The safety car is no longer driver of the day.
We've cursed a few people tonight. The safety car I didn't think was going to be one of them.
How have we cursed the safety car of all things?
Hang on, don't throw me into this. That's not a we. You're trying to pin the Bender one on me. That's all on you, that one.
No. Okay, so it started with you saying that the safety car was having a dominant drive in the KC4 class, and then I went on to say the safety car was driver of the day.
Oh, I did say that, didn't I? Oh dear.
I hate to throw you under the bus, JC.
No, you
but
don't.
I mean, many calls of a unsafety car in the chat, and 667 is disqualified. The safety car is disqualified.
And fair enough too. As I said, that is a week suspension for whoever that is. If we're not going to name him, shame him. That is poor. We can't have that.
I reckon there'll be a few beers in the stewards chat tonight.
It's all fun and games and we're having a bit of a giggle about it because all's well that ends well, but can you imagine what happened if someone was coming out of the pit lane, for example, or worse still,
no.
like it rolled onto the track and there's like 3 or 4 cars coming. Goodness me. Whoa, imagine. As I said, all's well that ends well, but whoa, it could have been worse.
Unfortunate news for Van Vliet. He's still in the pits.
That is
I reckon he's pulled it up. I reckon he's done.
That's a very long pit stop. Indeed, he's still flashing. But instead, he's still P19 too, though, so...
I don't know what...
I do know what that is. I reckon he's left the server. I think we had this last night, and Neil had to get someone to rejoin the server so that the board fixed itself or something of that. So I think Marcus may have left the server. Whether voluntarily or not, I can't tell you. I'm not sure if he's had some connection issues or what's occurred there. But he is, still 19th because he's disconnected from the server, and that's where he was when he left. That is my best guess.
That's unfortunate. You'd hope that wasn't a deliberate disconnection.
I'm not putting my steward's hat on tonight, and I'm also not putting on my assumed disconnection hat. Oh, what kind of hat would that be? Wouldn't be a straw hat. Assumed disconnection hat. No,
okay, so if you Alt F4 or get a random DC, it will keep you in the same spot. Please rejoin if it happens and leave server normally or continue.
Oh, bang, Mad Dog Gaming coming in with a $10 donation for the safety car driver. That is more than necessary after that shambles. Thank you very much, mate. That's very generous of you. Thank you kindly. It's a GoFundMe for the handbrake. That's the first $1. Throw it in the kitty.
How much for a handbrake?
How much would a handbrake be? Just the part itself. If you broke your handbrake, I'm sure it's different for every car.
Break your handbrake. That's interesting.
So this is that last 4 minutes we were talking about. Goodness me, time flies when you're having fun. Matty Lamb has pulled a gap. He is now 1.3 seconds clear of Ali Kyrudin. Kyrudin looking very likely after the pit stops, but unfortunately not having the pace down the straight to get it done. Lamb defending nicely on cold tyres. It must be said he defended very well there for that opening lap or two with Kyrudin sweating all over him. Blue flag's doing nicely there to get out of the way as the leaders come through, and they don't want to get involved in any of that because that's an even bigger paddling. So, yeah, bearing any sort of shenanigans and errors here from Matty Lamb, you would suggest he's probably going to bring this one home in P1. A well-deserved P1, it must be said. That pole time was dominant.
Yeah, very, very dominant drive from Matthew Lamb. And I have some good news for you, JC. I have an Alexis fact on the cost of replacing a handbrake.
Whoa, let's go.
So this is in the UK, so it is in British pounds, but it still checks out. On average, our research found that the cost of replacing a handbrake cable in the UK will set you back an average of £105. However, prices can vary based on several factors, so you should expect to pay anywhere between £75 and £150 for this job. The cost of replacing more handbrake parts, such as the handbrake shoes or caliper, will increase the price. In most cases, if you are having issues with your handbrake, the cable will be the main part to replace.
About £75, you reckon? All right, well, we've got a fair way to go to get to that, but we'll see how that goes down the week. Benjamin Piker looking very likely here. I think he maybe has a look down the inside, although Gunter Rowe defending aggressively. Again, not throwing a Stewart hat on for that one, but these two joint at the hip here for the last 2 minutes. Benjamin looked really strong through the middle sector and closed the gap a couple of times, and I thought he was going to have a little play down there in a turn 13, but Gunter slammed that door shut. And then through the last sector looked pretty strong, so as fast as the Nissan is in a straight line, I don't think it's going to be quick enough to catch Gunter down here in turn 1.
Not quite. Having a few mentions of Josh Breen in chat. He's up 10 places, even after an incident dropping him down the 30th earlier on in the race.
He also got absolutely booted by Connor Hind into the chicane. He was the one who was involved there, so Josh Breen having a very steady drive, looking very sharp.
And
up 10 spots, great
17th
drive.
in AM class.
Not sure what's going on with that livery, though. It's clearly not a pineapple enjoyer. It doesn't seem to have any adverse reactions to pineapple. Actually, you know what? That looks like it is a reaction of the digestive kind.
Yes, I was about to say. Brown flag moments.
Maybe that's what he thinks of pineapple. We'll leave that up to the pineapple lords to decipher what he's trying to say with that one. But no, aside from the livery, the driving has been world class, looking really sharp. He's got the debutant Sean Glover behind him, who's also had a reasonable race. Started in 12th, dropped back to P18, but you can't be too displeased with finishing inside the top 20 on your debut here in OOR, because there's a lot of fast drivers, especially in this split. So should be pretty pleased with P18, should Sean?
Yeah, should be happy with a P18 finish on debut.
Josh Morgan was the other debutant. He's
yes,
there
P24.
P24, and he's only lost the one spot, so he'd be very happy.
Make that P23!
Bang, that's a reverse curse. Enjoy that one, Josh. Up in a P23 and resumes his qualifying position. So he'd be pretty happy with that. And in fact, because he's below Marcus Van Vliet, he may be in P22, if I'm not mistaken.
Remember to vote for the driver of the day poll in the chat for Ascari. Our candidates are Matthew Lamb, who started from pole, is set to finish in P1. Charles Clark, who is in P10, up 9 positions. Josh Breen, who is in P17, up 10 positions. And Wookie Preciado, who is in P15, up 9 positions.
14 seconds to go as they come into the last sector. I don't know where Matty is, 2 seconds up the road. It'd be interesting to see whether he crosses the line here. 6 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Has Matty Lamb crossed the line? No. He hasn't. So that'll be it. Matty Lamb, ladies and gentlemen, start to finish, pole position all the way to the end. He is race winner here for round 3 in Hungary. An excellent effort from Kai Rudin, who started P3, got one done on Regan Herbert and moved up to P2. And John Senekis comes across in P3 to complete the podium. Stefano Ricciuti, a very nice driver, will come home in P4. Charles Clark here, trying to get one last little attempt done on Aaron Lee. Both of those guys have had great drives too, by the way. Aaron Lee and Charles Clark up 8 and 9 respectively. So good drives from them to plonk themselves into the top 10. Arna Saxi's had a great drive as well, up 2 spots. He finished P5. Vediger, Herbert, Wilson, Dougie Wilson up 5 spots as well. Rugrass having a great one up there in PA to be happy with the top 10 spot, but it is Aaron Lee and Charles Clark who round out the top 10.
Bit down here with Mitchell Bendig behind Connor Hind, the Hind of Hind. Looking for a move, although Hind does have that 5-second penalty.
How much does that drop him back? They've got about a 5-second gap to debutant Josh Morgan.
It could drop back behind Josh Morgan.
Josh Morgan would need to have a ripper of a final sector because he is just outside that 5-second gap. But considering Connor's had a very, very eventful race where he's been involved in
5 seconds, just.
He's not too shabby really here in P21. He's only lost the 1 spot, so
I'll be P20 across the line.
Yep, through he comes. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for Ascari, Split Ascari in Hungary, round 3. Off to Split Becketts next, where, as I said, we've got a debutant joining us along with Paige and Neil. They'll jump in the next 5 or so minutes, but it was Lamb in P1 for the pros, Kai Rudin and Senekis rounding out the top 3 there. Over in the Pro-Ams, it was Gunter Rowe, along with Phillips and Bender, jumping into P3 for the Pro-Ams. And in the AM class, Josh Breen, as well as Connor Hind and T-Mac. So I haven't voted for driver of the day yet, but seeing as Josh Breen got that AM class, look, Lamb dominant start to finish. Any other time I'd give it to him, but Josh Breen's got my vote there. I'm interested to see how this poll has played out. It is indeed Josh Breen up there with a large percentage of the vote, so congratulations to him.
He's looking set at this stage to take that drive of the day honours for Ascari, and rightfully so. Had a very good race, even with the setbacks. Yes, Lamb had a dominant drive, but even then you've got to have a look at some of the early drivers in there as well, and Josh Breen doing really nicely.
So for now, I have to go and...
Green light, go, go, go.
We lost you, JC.
Lost me as I probably entered into ACC. Probably not a good idea trying to open the game. I'm going to go drive in Becketts. Much love to you, Alex Bowen. Much love to you, YouTube chat. And I will see you later on in the week.
Thank you, JC. And that will encourage my leave. But I will stick around just for that little bit longer, just to the interval. As we're coming into Split Becketts now. So, looks like we had about 50% vote for Josh Breen, 31% for Matthew Lamb, 15% for Charles Clark, and 4% for Wolf Preciado in the drive today. So, yeah, looks set to be Josh Breen. Well done to him, the AM class driver. We just have a look at practice and wow, Luca Giacomin looking quick. I've most likely butchered that at the moment. 42.8 as we welcome the remaining crew for Split Becketts. And that will encourage my leave.
Yeah, good evening. How are we doing? That was some fun racing to watch.
It was indeed.
Thanks very much, Alex. Thanks, JC. Great work tonight.
Thank you. I'll catch yous around.
See you later, mate. Welcome, JP. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thanks. Yourself, Malik.
I'm doing very well, thanks. And welcome to the commentary booth, Michael Velasquez. Have I said that right?
Yep, that's correct. Hello.
How are we?
Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, it's the first time doing this. Pretty excited as well, part of the commentary team. Yeah, hopefully we'll have a nice race and see how this goes.
Yeah, definitely had a nice one in Ascari. You two were quite acquainted with each other last night.
Yeah, I was just saying to him, I couldn't get rid of him last night, and now I still have to freaking deal with him. So it's nice to have some fresh voices in the comms as well.
Yeah, it's been a very fun race trying to catch up with him. I mean, like he's one of the fastest, if not the fastest, driver on the grid. So yeah, it brings me some confidence going into the next race, and maybe even tighter battles next race. We'll have to see.
Well, you're definitely going to go up in class. I can guarantee you that.
Do all you can.
Oh,
Unlucky.
It's quite an interesting looking for Bentley.
For Bentley.
So
Plenty of
yeah.
greens.
Does the display have a track condition indicator or not really?
It does, but it just says green the whole time. Tells Porkies.
Ah, okay, so that's not ideal.
I will. I'll try again. I'll see what I can do with it.
So we have a couple of very speedy boys in here as well. I mean, we have the likes of Shady Samuel, Rostefani, and who else? We have Giacomin, Hasnam. So I reckon we should see a fairly tight qualifying.
Yeah, let's find out and see. Is this Porsche the first driver on the grid, on the?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm trying to find track grip status. So there you go. If you look in the top right corner, it says green still, which is not right. That's not true.
Okay. Do we maybe have a behind the scenes information whether it's optimum or?
Yes, so it is optimum.
Okay, good. So we can hit some bets in terms of what we're gonna see from a pole time. I think previous split was a 42.6, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's correct. Blistering pace.
So what do we reckon for here? I'm not sure how familiar you are with the drivers in the split, Michael, but seeing as it's your first time here, you have to call who's on pole and you have to be exactly correct in terms of what the times are.
No doubt about it.
Alright, keep that in mind. Yeah, some familiar names from last season. I believe we raced with George Fowler. Actually, pretty much that. Oh, and Leonard Scott. Yeah.
I'm going to say 42.8.
By whom?
Not David McNulty. It'll be... I'm going to go and say Giacomin.
Bastard. Okay.
Well, based on Watkins Glen 10 hour, it could be Rialto Ristofani.
That was going to be my call, is between Haslam and Ristofani, but I'll say Ristofani with a 42.7.
Ooh, spicy. What's your prediction, Michael? Have a stab.
I'll go with Giacomin. Maybe a 42.8, perhaps.
Good prediction.
Yeah, I wonder where I heard that before.
I don't want to butcher Shaquille's first name, but how do I pronounce that without sounding like a muppet?
I think it's easier just to call him Karim.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Is that offensive? I'm not sure, but I feel like whatever I pronounce will be more offensive than just calling him Karim.
Ilhamul Karim. It's got Mull in there, so
That
he's a
sounds
winner.
about right.
Ilhamul Karim. I'm going to go with that, but I'm going to say Shaquille or Big Shaq. If he knows what that is. Otherwise, it's a lost joke.
We have a Kovacs 1-2 at the moment, so stop the count. Red flag the session.
What is going on? Oh, it's gone. It's done. It's finished.
Okay. Boo.
I couldn't wave the flag quick enough. We're at 44-2 to kick us off. Never mind. 43-3. There's Giacomo.
It's a decent banker. I was hoping that they would see some moisture as well. That was quite a spanner in the works last night when we kicked over to qualifying, and all of a sudden we had a wet track but no rain.
Have we had a wet rain? Oh, sorry, wet rain. Have we had a wet race yet in any split so far this season? I can't even remember if we had a full wet race.
I can't recall one so far.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We might have to change the settings.
I mean, you don't have to.
We only do it for split sunset.
I mean, you don't have to. I feel like I keep repeating myself, but
yeah, there's a couple of little bits of information that the overlays doesn't show. We'll work along with Race Labs to try and make sure that they can add that in the future. Obviously, penalties being the main one. It doesn't show deltas accurately or at all yet. But other than that, the pit information is mega. Like some of that information you get through, that's a lot to talk about.
Stint length and stuff like that is quite interesting to see.
Stint length, last stint length, pit travel time, all very good information because it shows us if someone's made a mistake in the pits, if they've just served a drive-through. Yeah, catch a few out as well.
George Fowler in the Beamer. Has George Fowler swapped cars recently, or did he start the season in the Beamer? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, but
I think he was in the Beamer. I'm pretty sure. We've only had one person swap cars last week.
Okay. Must have missed that then.
Their name escapes me. But BMW's absolutely dominating this split at the moment. Is it that strong around here, or is it just...
It's not. It's like the fourth fastest car around here. But I mean, Luca and Samuel and Fowler are all fast drivers. So I guess it's a fair representation so far.
That's fair.
What are the other cars that are fast on this particular track?
So I think the OP car is the Porsche, especially in terms of one lap pace. Audi is strong, Honda is very strong. Ferrari is actually quite competitive here as well. So it's actually a fairly balanced track. The Bentley used to be very, very strong here, but I think in the recent updates it's not quite as powerful as it was.
It's been smacked a bit. Just want to point out that Giacomo currently has a 42.8. Did you hear that at all anywhere, JP?
No, that's news to me. I mean, can you imagine if one, maybe even two people predicted that as the pole time?
And you would have predicted it if I didn't get in there first.
I mean, I definitely would have called Giacomo, yeah, but I was going to say a 42.6.
Oh, okay.
So,
but now you're going 42.7.
Yeah, but I had to choose somebody else, so I had to just tone it down a little bit to see if it's realistic.
Well, at the moment, Shady Samuel's currently up 4/10 on this lap. Sitting there with a 43.1 as he's lost 2/10 that sector, but it looks like he's a bit of a shake here.
He's one of those drivers who just keeps... I mean, he's always been fast, even when he was in rookies as well, but... Oh, that's an invalidation.
Yeah, I reckon.
But he keeps on just incrementally improving as he goes along. So he's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
They had an unfortunate race in the 10-hour. The Three Pyramids Motorsport team. They got disconnection issues and they rejoined and they duplicated their entry twice.
Ouch. Okay, that's
so
not ideal.
Got 50 odd laps in. So hopefully I think they have a little bit more luck. Looks like Big Shaq hasn't got a lap in yet. The only one.
This is honestly, I don't know how you guys feel about this track, but it's one of my favorite tracks. I
It is my
just
favourite
absolutely
track.
love the flow in Sector 2 especially.
I strongly agree with that.
But in saying that, the track limits in terms of qualifying laps is just so frustrating. It's so easy to invalidate at like 7 different spots.
Yeah, it's not hard here. Speaking of invalidating, which track are you voting for the current circuit vote in the Endurance Series?
I don't think it's legal to ask somebody who they voted for, is it?
Unless your name's JC, who's bloody much got a scam campaign going on, smear campaign.
Okay, well, there's multiple layers to this. I voted for Snetterton and Indy.
Yep.
And then I got many violent threats from my brother if I voted for Indy, so I switched that to Paul Ricard. But yeah, I would have liked Indy. I haven't raced. I've done like 3 laps there, so I haven't actually raced there. But I do, because we did Paul Ricard fairly recently, and I don't know. I just left front tire already died at Watkins. We don't need more left front tire left.
I'm not fussed, obviously, but I actually would have preferred Kota, and I think because we haven't done a round in the sprints there yet, everyone's a bit spooked about how it is in qualifying and time trial and all the invalidations. I reckon once we get a race under our belts, for a lot of the drivers, they'll warm to it because it's a beautiful track to drive. But I'm happy with Paul Ricard, I'm happy with Indianapolis, Snetterton. I'm glad we didn't get that in, that's all I'm saying. That is... I don't think it's a great endurance track.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no, but it's a fun track to drive. I really,
Definitely.
really enjoy driving, and it's very. The thing I like about it is like Paul Ricard and Indy to a certain extent. It's very forgiving, so you can make mistakes and just still survive. But Snetterton, you just lose concentration for a second and you're dead.
And grass.
So, yes.
You lose the conversation. Oh, your concentration at Paul Ricard, you're definitely going to see gravel. I mean, bitumen. You lose it at Snetterton, you're definitely going to see grass.
Yeah, at Paul Ricard, if you lose it, you just end up in a parking bay in front of a freaking car 4 or something like that. I'm not sure.
The only thing with Paul Ricard that's weird on this game is when the cars go through that red and blue off-track asphalt, it makes them transparent as a viewer, and I've never understood why. I'm not sure if you've seen that before, but...
No, I haven't actually noticed that.
Same, must be magic.
Just magic. It's how Bender rejoined from Bender's Apex back in the day. I don't think he's too keen to go back there. Imagine
Yeah,
if he
he's
doesn't-
posted some anti-Paul Ricard messages. I don't know.
Well, the Bender fact that he posted up that it has 167 different layouts. Is that an exaggeration or is that legit?
No, that's legit. I've seen that a couple of places.
And he said, oh, 167 of them are horrible.
Yeah, I mean that part is maybe exaggerated, but
Just, you reckon? Oh, it's so funny.
it also has a water system, so they can make the track wet at any time.
Bernie
So,
Eccleston?
yeah, that's something they should use more often, I think. That's actually something they should add into the game as an option, where the race director can turn the water on whenever he wants.
I'd have wanted a thunderstorm button. Instant flooding.
Yeah, I've only driven on a flooded track once, and I think it was when we were doing the promo video for the Kyalami race. I don't know if you recall that, but it didn't go well for anyone, I would say.
No, and also we did a wet and wild Bathurst 12 hour this year in the GT4s. I think that was heavy rain. I couldn't remember if we put it on for thunderstorms, but that was pretty funny to watch.
Valiant's in chat saying he prefers Donington to Snetterton, which I would agree with. But in saying that, in terms of driving, I prefer Donington, but in terms of an endurance, I think I'd rather do Snetterton. It's just a slightly longer track.
And I think Alton Park's the best of the three, but it's just on the game. It's just too bumpy.
I love Alton. I can lap Alton all day, but again, for doing anything more than like 3 hours at Alton would be so mentally draining.
What about a spec series in the Ferrari Challenger car at Alton Park for 8 hours?
You had me until you mentioned the amount of time.
Oh.
Yeah, then I lost
Edge of
interest
your seat for
almost
8 hours.
immediately. Ooh, look at the pole time there. Shady Samuel with a 42.7.
Oh, you were so close. You just had the wrong driver. Duke Owen's up at 10th. Stefani's up on his time. The second separates the top 8. We might see an improvement. Maybe we will see 42.6. Not long to go though.
Yeah, this is the time of qualifying where every little split second manicle counts.
Just keep an eye on these deltas. Jacoman's up a 10th. Here's a chance here to snatch pole at the very last roll of the dice. I think he's going to do it. Oh, Shady Samuel's also up in his time, so this should be pole. And it is 42.640. What a cracking time. And Shady
That's fast.
doesn't improve. No, he's still on the lap. Oh, this is going to be very, very tight.
Just needs a 10th. How much is he up at the moment?
He's not up. He's down a 10th. Yep, keeps losing more and more time. You wait and see.
No, not quite there. I mean, that's still a mighty impressive performance by him, Jacob Weatherburn, in the Pro Pizza Camp, Pro Pineapple Pizza Camp.
I did like him before that. I saw this livery. No one's perfect though. As he crosses the line, he's up at the moment. He's going to gain time, but he won't gain positions. He goes and makes me look like an idiot. I think it was invalid.
Well, I mean, he still gained time, just
Thanks,
not legally.
Jacob. Thanks, Jacob.
So, Michael, you had a greenish yellow livery last night. Was that coincidence, or are you in the Pro Pineapple camp for pizza?
Pro Pineapple gang. I've tried it and yeah, it's pretty alright. I mean, I'm not like, it's like 100% every pizza should have a pineapple on it, but it's fine. It's nice.
Thanks for joining us, Michael. It's been a pleasure. What about you, JP? I think you read anything.
I'm pro pineapple on fast food pizza, like Domino's, something like that. I'm not pro pineapple on like proper pizza.
Yeah. Why do I have back echo?
I have a lot of echo as well. I'm not sure what's going on.
Fix it. 1 sec. Back in 2 seconds.
Okay, while we wait for Mole, we can go through the grid as we see Luca Giacomin in pole position with a blistering 142.6. Shady Samuel only a 10 down. Jacob Weatherburn, Nerasana Ralahe, Brad Cook, Rialto Ristofani, George Fowler, Ben Ventiner, Benjamin Carood, and Luke Johnson rounds out the top 10. And then we have Seprio Hanmanto, Hasnam, Parker, Zolkefli, Karim Shakil, Viney, Denaldi, Chan, Rockford, and Malik to round out the top 20. Our very beloved Jamie Conboy, sitting in P21, followed by Dave Bartlett, Jason Leonard Scott, Gary Lau, Jason Gowers, Brad Grant in his sprint debut, Rafael Joa, Damiano Thircalini, and Nick Miller, rounding out the grid.
And blistering times from the top 2 as well. 42.6 and 7, was it not?
Yep, we had 10th in it in the end.
Yeah, you mentioned in the BMW chat that you're able to get a 42.8 pretty easily. Can you teach us mere mortals how?
Well, I managed 1:42.7 in practice, and then never got close to it again. So no, I don't think I can teach you. As we fly over the grid, there's quite a good split. I think it's more in favor of Pineapple. Clearly, the safety car is not in favor of Pineapple, but
that is a sexy looking safety car.
The Ginetta looks like a catfish from the front.
30 seconds.
Hold on, let's take another look at that.
It does.
That's a catfish.
30 seconds.
It even has the freaking little whiskers things. Diaballs, no, there was no rain. It's very boring.
10 seconds.
Nobody's getting wet.
Yeah, I think you're right, JP. That's a very pro Pineapple grid. A lot of soft go 30s about to be handed out here. That he's on the fence.
That's
or...
very ambivalent. Well, there's more red on the left, so does it mean he's...
But how can you kind of be half not pro? Like, you've either got Pineapple on your pizza or you don't. And even if it's one piece, it's on your pizza. There's a safety car. There we are. Split Beckett says yes. JC's smear campaigns work a treat. If you need anything voted for, get that man onto it because he'll get it in. Capsicum livery.
I think it was mentioned last night, but when it comes to fruit on pizza, banana is still the way to go. I don't know.
Yes, agreed. 100% agreed.
But a banana bacon pizza.
So good.
No, even like a savory pizza with cheese.
Really?
Banana with cheese and bacon will change your life.
Change my life is a big call. I might have to try it.
I didn't say it would change it positively. I just said it would change.
It'll change nonetheless.
Banana on pizza. That's interesting.
It's weird. It was fairly common in South Africa since when we lived there, but in Thailand, I've never seen it, and I've tried ordering it once at a restaurant, and I got very, very weird looks. So I don't think it's particularly common over here.
Yeah, I haven't seen one where I have to live, but that's pretty cool. Might give that a shot if there are any options.
Just try some banana, lots of bacon, lots of cheese. You'll be happy. Giovanni saying tomato is a fruit. Yeah, I mean, technically, you're correct. But, I mean, you don't put it in a fruit salad, do you?
That's a very good point. Chat, what's the strangest thing you'd like on your pizza? If you've said pineapple, I'll accept that, but what about the next one? I'm a massive anchovies fan, and that's not for everybody.
Yeah, I'm not on team anchovies.
Jalapenos. You love those. Anyway, speaking of spicy, it's just about to kick off here for Asia Pacific AP Becketts splits. And this split normally brings the heat. Will they bring it again tonight? Hungary turn 1 says probably yes. New safety car driver, new problems.
Gaps at the front are a little bit weird there, but we get going. Brad Cook with a great start behind Weatherburn. Samuel looking on the inside, a little bit of a touch into the braking there.
Someone in the wall.
That is horrendous.
And a lot of...
What have we just witnessed?
Fucking disaster.
More
safety car, perhaps?
Sadness. Yeah,
safety car? They're going to need a recovery truck out there. What on earth, AP Becketts? I said it was spicy. I mentioned jalapenos. I didn't mean kick each other in the shins.
That's a fucking ghost pepper.
That is a ghost pepper. That is not going to buff out for some of those cars. One car went straight onto the wall. I don't know if they had a mechanical failure at their house, but I will watch that back.
I'm assuming there was maybe a little bit of contact that put him into the wall and he just couldn't get off it on the grass, maybe?
Yeah. Based on my replay on my phone, it seems like there was a 4-wide incident which caused one of the Ferraris to go straight on the left.
This poor standings update is just having an absolute seizure at the moment, trying to figure out who died and who didn't.
Oh, I don't want to watch this back.
I mean, but we have to for the content.
Oh, there's going to be some absolute paddlings of penalties, so be prepared. All right, where do we start? We'll start about here. Good luck, chat. Doesn't take much to kick off a disaster in lap 1, but Becketts shows violence when I wake up this morning.
There we go. There's the 4 wide. Hold on.
Hasn't couldn't pull up on the grass. Whack.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage.
So that was a very similar. Okay, that's a thing.
Just an extra bomb. Oh, someone.
Oh, he
Okay.
stayed on the throttle there with a Ferrari, and that caused some more sadness there.
Yeah, I don't think stewards will be happy with that.
But the incident on the start-finish straight was very reminiscent to what happened at Silverstone with the Zhu incident. Basically, somebody just squeezing over a little bit and then all hell breaking loose.
I think they were 5 wide here tonight, which, as you all know, isn't good anywhere.
Well, I recall in the endurance chat when Hungaroring was up, the comment was, no, it's nice and wide, there's lots of space. So I suppose it's been proven that yes, there is lots of space. You can go 5 wide. Yeah, as Dravel says, when car gap. So pretty much, oh, okay.
Oh, that's a nice screenshot. There's gotta be someone's wallpaper there.
Yes, moments before disaster. Dot 306.
Scree! You're probably wondering how I got here.
Yep. Those AP Beckett stewards, they're on the good stuff, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, Becketts is split red, right? By all stretches. And split red does have a reputation that they seem very hesitant to let go of.
Is it the late night? Is it the late night doing it for Becketts? Are they getting grumpy at night? Are they want to get the race underway? They've been watching Split Ascari and they're so eager to get out there. They forget that racecraft is a thing. Never change, Becketts. This is good content.
We actually have a disqualification for car 222 for a severely unsafe rejoin on that one. That's a first for me to see.
Yeah, that's a first indeed.
Yes, so there's been a couple of areas we've focused on in the stewards room of late to really just crack down on a few things. License points is one thing. Big shout out to Alex and Jason for keeping track of that the best they can. It has worked wonders. But anything rear contact wise or rejoin wise, if we think it's bad, you will absolutely cop it now. We've done the same in F1. Any rear contact pretty much is going to get you 2 license points no matter what. So just got to be more careful. We know incidents happen. We're not going to ban you.
The pit is now open.
Just got to be careful. Don says, send my condolences to the stewards, will you please? Don't worry, they've got a good budget for alcohol in that room.
They don't need condolences, they need tequila. But
and some
There
some
we go.
pizzas.
with some pineapple on them, or
Well, I'm not ordering it. So we still wait for a restart here. We'll put the pit info up in a second, but with our safety car rules, if a safety car's called and you pit the very next lap, you're allowed to catch the field. If you pit a lap after that, that's on you and we have to wait. But if no one pits on that lap, the initial safety car called lap, the safety car's going to be out there for a lap and we'll go again. But you can't serve your mandatory stop regardless, but you're allowed to pit for damage. If that makes sense? Great. If it doesn't, unlucky.
safety car in this lap, confirmed by Mr. Alex. So we can finally go racing. It's always difficult on the tires when you have a safety car early in the race, because I think luckily they didn't get much temperature into the tires, because they only went about 29 meters. But yeah, the first stint will always be interesting when you have these slow laps right at the beginning with the tires.
Oh, they're going to be cool now. As you can see, a lot of people are still floating about in the pit. Some people decided to pit a bit later. So JLS, Gowers, Karud, Hazenham, and Ristofani. Ristofani's been DQ'd, unfortunately. He's going to take that one out of the scrapbook and move on to the next race. We should be 90 minutes of Bathurst next week. Our first kind of midweek short endurance race, which I'm looking forward to.
A comment for Mao. So, an acquired taste as commentators.
What was that?
A comment from Don. These pineapple on pizza loving commentators are like pineapple on pizza, an acquired taste. And
Don't get wrong there. As that's a restart, I thought he was going to try to get the move done. Hang
No,
on.
safety car is still out. Safety car is still out.
What is going on here? I thought they were off and racing then. So obviously the stewards have seen something and just want to hold them for one more lap. Which to me is a good shout. No point restarting until you are feeling like things are balanced, even, ready to go. I'm going to refresh my YouTube chat.
there we go. Safety car in this lap confirmed now.
Okay, I'll confirm that once I see them racing through turn 4.
We don't believe you yet.
Prove it.
Out.
Hey man, it's too late now.
The memories.
Yeah, so as we come around before the restart, just to update on the standings, we've lost Shady Samuel out of the top 2. He dropped down to P6 in that opening skirmish. Weatherburn up to P2. Raleigh remains in P... No, he was in P4. Brad Cook came up a bit. Ben Wintener, the supposed AM, I think he's still in AM class, which I hope has been updated, in P5. And then Shaquille made up 2 positions on the start as well. Oh, no, actually 6 positions, sorry. So, yeah, some big movers and shakers.
Indeed. Don says, holding the safety car for 1 more lap will give the motor drivers a chance to catch back up. So, basically, if you're involved in a crash on lap 1, pit the very next chance you get. If you stay out and then decide to come in, that's your own fault. We will wait for you if you pit lap 1. That rule, we're still teaching it to stewards, and sometimes they don't always get it perfect, but that is what you should be doing. If you're getting damaged straight away, pit, especially if safety car's called. As we restart here, I thought the safety car was around, but it's not. That's disappointing. Jet Coleman leads the way from Weatherburn, Raleigh, Cook, Vintner, and Samuel.
Weatherburn with the 5-second penalty.
Oh, that's
Raleigh missed his braking and murdered Yoda there. That is very unfortunate.
What has this split eaten today? Cranky split.
Perhaps too much pineapple on pizza.
Or maybe not enough.
Not too much, you can tell. This split's pro pineapple and also pro death at turn 1 here at Hungary Ring. Maybe they're all hungry at Hungary. Who would
More
know?
angry than anything.
Angry. It's the Angry Ring. Oh dear.
Okay, well, we're up and racing now. Hopefully things can start sorting themselves out, and the drivers can use that little window in the front of the car to look what's going on ahead of them. And we can get some clean racing for the remaining 50 minutes.
Should mention, There's still 48 minutes left. 40 minutes and 47 seconds left, and we've seen a lot of chaos already. So let's see what the remainder of the race has to show us.
Sports go straight to a replay on a restart. This is what happened as the safety car's pulled away. Raleigh, who's a long way back here from Weatherburn, I'm not sure what's going through the brain, but he thought he was going to make it through there. He's decided against it. He's trying to avoid, and either way, the result's been the same.
If you notice, because of that lap 1 incident, the braking board is gone, and I think Miri probably just got caught out by that.
Yeah, he should have gone on the outside first if he thought he missed it. For some reason, he dinked inside, and she was good, not Irene. But
He should have zigged when he zigged when he should have zagged.
yep, yinged when he should have yanked. So that makes it Samuel back up to P2.
he's like a yo-yo at the moment, so it's good for him. Mike Denaldi up 8 positions. Jamie Conboy up into P13, starting 21st. Great progress for him and Bartlett, following each other through the field, or through the carnage, I should say.
219 isn't on the server. Jacob, if you're there, can you please rejoin just to fix the screen? I know you're probably upset with what just transpired, but sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. I think he's back out.
He also served a penalty, I think, because he got a 5-second penalty for collision on that one.
Brad Cook in a BMW sandwich. Him in the Honda.
Surrounded. There's a meme about that somewhere.
I'm
glad you laughed. You know,
does
it's
it
still.
involve a sofa?
No, we won't talk about it anyway. We're
Okay,
moving
never
on.
mind. But on a technicality, Brad Cook is a Honda sandwich. They're just using BMW grip.
There you go, my bad.
But yeah, he's going to feel very uncomfortable being surrounded by 4 BMWs. So luckily the Honda has some good pace, so he should be in with a fighting chance. But yeah, things slowly seem to have settled down. Less death, which is, I guess, progress.
Yeah, some order after chaos.
He didn't have a zinger box tonight, I reckon it's thrown him off. He's got time to get one now.
Just, yeah. Viney and Rockford both up quite a few positions from qualifying as well, so they'll be happy with that. This car 168 gets a penalty. Is Fleddy Malik, is that a real name or is that a nickname? Because that's quite an interesting name.
Who's that, sorry?
Fleddy Malik, car 168 in P18.
I think he signed up a couple of weeks ago. There's a bit going on at P5. We'll watch it back in a second. Car 4's picked the stop go 20 up for that 2-in-1 collision. Was expecting something like that. 5-second penalty to car 168. I have to go and walk with this battle here. I guarantee you this is going to kick off.
Oh, just as you said that.
I guarantee you it is going to kick off even more. They're going to go 3 wide down to turn 1. Hermanto, they're 4 wide. Gentlemen, didn't you learn anything from the first 15 minutes of this race? We'll soon find out. They've been battling and smacking against each other for the last 3 laps. Oh my goodness. Becketts never change.
They after all the chaos, they make it 4 wide into turn 1 and nothing happens. I was expecting much death.
Mate, we've still got 44 minutes. Oh yeah, 2 wide at turn 4.
Well done. I mean,
wow.
I can't believe it. Whatever they're drinking, I want.
Has anybody checked on the stewards? Are they okay? Ooh, that's a send into the. He pulls it up.
Oh!
Now it's a
Oh,
train. Let's count how many cars are there in this train.
This is definitely a train. I'm not going to say the joke I was going to say, but I don't have any faith. It's just one
I
little
see 9
incident
cars.
away. Oh, a bit of a woggable there
Speaking
from
of-
Ferrari.
Whatever you're speaking, it comes into reality. Oh no! Oh, shoot. Yeah, McLaren in the background, back of the train, just about almost taking out the back end of the train.
This is quite spicy.
the amount of close calls on that lap is just mind-boggling.
Oh, who's in this battle? It goes from 8th to 12th or 14th?
I think it's a bit further than that. I think that's a McLaren right at the back there, so that's probably P14.
So
Yeah, if you look at
No,
the
actually, that's my P17. This is
to
it's a
17th.
freight train.
What an absolute monstrous train. Floody, you're in the safest spot, mate. I wouldn't leave. You might pick up a few positions here. Oh my word. Just
Oh
let
yeah,
this
have you
train-
mentioned that pit window is open now, or in the last 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's been open for a while. I don't think that matters much based on how these people are going.
Everyone's going to be forced into the pits anyway for a second time. Oh
Look, the
no.
Honda compromised out of the chicane. This is gonna. Okay. Talks, Viney. Oh, there we go.
That's
Someone's
Jamie
around.
Conboy. Oh, 3
That was a
wide.
good-
Don't go there. No, there's grass.
Oh, no, boop, there's a boop.
Oh no, there's
No,
contact.
they kept it.
Oh, he saved it. Nice.
This has been one of the most chaotic things I've ever seen.
I think JC maybe got a tiny little boop from the rear, which put him into Viney there, which looped him. So that was quite unfortunate there.
He's dropped back. He's lost a few positions. He hasn't lost too much time. I think he's got the pace to make it back. By the time he gets back, though, there might be anyone left.
My greater concern is for the alcohol shortage that's about to form in Australia with the stewards. Ooh, that's beat by them. Pulls it up nicely. Very well done there.
Would
If I'm
you
being
try
honest,
and
they're on
undercut?
something harder now than alcohol.
This is just shooting straight heroin at the moment, trying to deal with life.
Now, the decision is, would you try and undercut this train, or would you try and stay in this train?
Absolutely. But
I'd be
just get
tapping
away.
out. I'd be booking a holiday somewhere else.
That's
I
a
think
sensible
that's
answer.
the blue flag.
Oh, that is not where you want to be a blue flag, really, with this many cars so closely battling.
Luke Johnson's chosen.
Oh.
Jeez. Good take there by the McLaren.
Ooh,
It's-
side by side again.
They're really close, but everyone's just making their own mistakes. And then it's backing up the field in, and they get closer, and then they try not to get them, and they make a mistake. I'm telling you now, there's going to be a massive incident.
There we go.
There's a boop.
As you say that, again, this is your 3rd time in this race alone.
Yeah, it's...
Like, what?
I'm just
Oh,
not. We're not going
no.
to commentate. We'll just let you watch what's unfolding here because. I think
Can we
it's
put the Benny Hill theme on and then just let it roll?
Is that JC?
Yeah, Neil, it's-
It is.
This is going to be a side by
There
side
we go.
into turn 1. Oh, it's looking in behind. Will he go for the send? He's lining it up.
Love it.
Late on the brakes. Pulls
Side
it up
by
nicely.
side.
Great move. Very well done there by Jamie. I'm trying to keep up with the penalties, but
Nah, give up.
I'm not a speed reader.
Our
Speaking
leader
of
does have a
penalties.
10-second penalty.
Oh, what happened?
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. There's just too much happening this mid pack, and I'm not going to leave it because this is. I don't even have words for it.
Speeding at race start. There we go. I missed it there. Cars 61 and 313.
I mean, that's a send into the chicane. Very good awareness by the Bentley there to pull out of it. But yeah, he was quite a little bit ahead of Shady at the start of the race. So I think that's probably what happened. So that
This Flatty's moved up.
where is Flatty? 14 already, making his way through the field. Gary Lau up 11 positions as well. That's great progress for him.
Maybe things have settled down. Nope, never mind.
Maybe things have send. Maybe things have. That's a send. It's
Pretty much summarizes the race.
I think the person in the best position on this track is going through turn 10 roughly now, like all on their own on the track. Nobody near them. Their likelihood of death is probably 100% less than anywhere else on this track.
Best position on the track is actually in Stefani's car.
Or the safety
DQ'd
car.
in the pits. He's got his popcorn out. Let's just quickly check the leader of the race, which is Giacomo. He's got a 10-second penalty hanging over his head for overspeeding at the start of the race. Currently has a gap of 3.6 seconds to Shady Samuel. Has the skill and potential here to maybe extend past the 10 seconds, but he's going to have to make it perfect. As Hermanto comes out of the pits.
I think Giacomo, depending on when he pits and what Cook and their pace looks like, he's at risk of dropping to P3 with a penalty here, so he's going to want to get a move on.
Make a move on as well as not make any mistakes at all. So get your corners right and especially the pits.
He's in a good spot though. He's well away from this mid-pack battle for now. Come on, boys, up 6 positions.
And that is 6th position gain after he already had a little oopsie again, so great progress.
Yep.
As we see a couple of people into the pits.
Car number 332, drive-through penalty for track limit.
Okay, that's the car that just went into the pits. That's Scott Rochford. Fortunately, he was running so well, he will be very unhappy about that.
Oh, a bit of a wobble there from Bartlett. Saves it though.
Car seems bouncy there.
Yeah, the McLaren does not like that curve at all. You want to avoid it at all costs, pretty much.
As both of them go wide, hopefully they won't get any extra warning from that. Otherwise, it's one step closer to a penalty.
Can people in the YouTube chat just start talking a little bit more, because it's literally just penalties at the moment. So some more interaction would balance that out a little bit.
Yeah, speaking of 10-second penalty for car number 296 for speeding in pit lane.
296,
I relate there.
Yeah. I mean, imagine doing that, you know.
Question for the commentators. This is probably aimed at you, Velasquez. How do you drive with a gamepad?
Excellent question.
Sure. Okay. Well,
if you say with your
yeah,
thumbs, then I'm honestly gonna reach for the screen instead.
Well, but still, in the end, you still want to drive a car like how you drive a wheel anyway. So, I've had experience with the wheel back in the day, like R Factor 1 days. So it'd be the Logitech Formula Force Wingman something GP. So, yeah, you just have to manipulate your car like you're driving a wheel as well, and try not to make any mistakes. Like be consistent. Basically just as someone goes out there. Yeah, car number 744.
Jason
But
Gowers.
yeah, you just have to drive like you're driving a wheel, and pretty much that. You can change the settings all you want for your ACC settings, and yeah, pretty much there's that to it. Otherwise, just practice, and good luck with it.
Get a replay here of what happened to Mr. Gowers. Is it self-inflicted? Nope, it's a little boop.
It's a bonk.
Oh, it's a bonk. Sorry, I thought it was a boop. Is it a bonk if he hits the wall, and just a boop if they just sort of wiggle a little bit?
Personally, for me, every sort of bump depends on the intensity. Either
Okay.
boop or bonk. But I think boop seems more appropriate there.
Was that an overtake or not? That was around the outside of turn 1, which is not easy. So that's very well done.
Yeah. Oh, and another attempt. Oh
Ooh.
no.
That's a
Sent
boop.
into. Yeah.
Okay.
Tactical boop.
Is that a
perhaps?
boop, a bump, or a bip?
I'd say it's a boop.
He hit him, okay? They touched Martin.
You play FIFA with the wheel. Okay. This one cracked me up. No.
Well, I mean, you should. It's only fair.
No, he plays FIFA with the Guitar Hero guitar.
The
No.
dance
That talented.
The dance pad.
The dance.
Dance
The drum kit. Shoot! Whack!
There must be a YouTube video for that somewhere, hopefully. Gotta Google that up.
Well, there's somebody who beat Dead Souls 3 on a Guitar Hero guitar, so yeah.
They're called crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, 296 with a penalty for the bonk. So,
So that's another penalty for him. That's 15 seconds in total.
Yeah, I'm
The
looking
last
at the
10
monitor
minutes.
and just seeing red everywhere. Just one of those races. This will go down in along with a couple of Kailami races, I think.
the fucking car park.
Yep. Jurassic
I mean-
Car Park.
They still, I don't think anything will ever compare to their Zolder race 2 about 2 seasons ago. They had, 4 safety cars and 2 30-minute races.
Oh yeah.
So that was also split red, by the way. Oh, there we go, 296 with another penalty again.
Or 12 meters.
Yeah, 12 meters was
Imola.
good fun. With Mario the Marshal.
No,
It's a green, go ahead, it's fine. So these two guys are giving each other all kinds of hell.
Halfway through, keep
And
pushing.
it's getting into the type of time of the race where one of them might as well attempt an undercut. Interesting to see who blinks first. AMN, if you've just joined, I'd recommend turn it off now and then wait until the race is finished, go back and watch it again because it's worth watching. So Luca,
this might be deleted once this VOD's up live. This race never happened. I can't access the VOD mode. Why? Oh, that's slutty, boy.
well held there. I should have dove, dived. I don't know. He should have gone into the pits there.
Yeah, those tyres are going to be hot. And bothered?
Flatty is giving Gary all kinds of trouble here, but Gary placing the car in the right position, and as I say that, Flatty places the car in the wrong position and gets overtaken by Asnam. And he dives into the pits, followed by blue flag, I think. Oh, no. It's not a racing position. What is Flatty doing? He's like 60 meters away from the pit board. That is the safest pit entry I've ever seen.
10-second penalty for going too slow in the pit lane.
It would have been my favourite if you just turned the pit lane limiter off at just the wrong time and still sped in the pit lane.
I've seen it happen.
Comical.
So Lau, Gary, up 15 spots, as is Damiano Thurcolini. See, there's 3 cars in the pits. The flashing number is your pit time, and in that box when it's finished is your overall pit time for your last stop, I believe.
That's really cool.
Stefani's been in there for 28 minutes because unfortunately he was disqualified on lap 1. Weatherburn has left the session. Ignore the trap map. His mortal remains are still at turn 1. That was an unfortunate restart. But meanwhile, Jer Coleman has a 10-second penalty hanging over his head, but does have a 6.5 second gap with 27 minutes to go. So
he comes into the birds.
Yep.
He's done enough to clear Brad Cook, but yeah, it's definitely going to come out behind Shady. As we see Fowler back onto the rear of Vintner here, putting all kinds of pressure on.
Yeah, technically you can Berger in the pit lane, you can overtake safely before the pit board, but it's not something that you really are confronted with much, nor should you be, because it's quite dangerous. But I've managed to sneaky overtaking the pits in F1 game. I think it was F1 game. It just presents itself, because some people, I don't know if they don't practice the pits at all, but they're unsure about where the pit limit board is, and as you saw with Vladdy then, he did it about 460 metres too soon.
Yeah, he was still on turn 4 when he started slowing down there.
He's learned something though, Vladdy, that this split is chaotic and where the pit board is.
So Jacoman
is
still stationary. Yeah, Hermanto is not having his best race so far. He's received another 10-second penalty essentially. So definitely involved in the wars. I think he may be setting out quali in the next race if it continues at this pace.
He might be doing so, and he'll also be serving drinks to the stewards, I think, next race, and dishing out those sliced oranges to the drivers.
That's a proper penalty.
That is a proper penalty. As
and a driver penalty for track limits as well. Okay.
Oh, that's Shaquille. He's just in the pits as well. So he's going to serve his stop, unless he's serving his drive-through right now. Because he can't.
Oh, car 130. 10-second penalty for speeding in pit lane.
That's David Barker in the BMW.
Oh, no.
Imagine making that mistake.
Done it before.
Ooh, that's a great exit for Hasnan there. He's going to have to take the long way around Lau into turn 2, which is not a lot of grip out there. It might set him up for a good run into turn 3.
Car 94, 5-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 10.
94 is Gary Lau. That would have been one of the boops that we saw there in the final sector, I think. Ooh, a lot of people going wide there at turn 4. It's a very easy place to get a warning. Hasnam with a good run into the chicane here, side by side through the chicane, generally ends very well. That one.
That was beautiful.
Was very nicely done.
Diabolls, if it was rained, I guarantee you there wouldn't be even 25% of the same amount of incidents we've seen. Wet races actually bring out less penalties. It's more driver error and it causing their damage to their own car than contact. I don't know if everyone just wants to survive more, but
I'll be honest, I usually agree, but based on how split Becketts has been going, I think if it was raining, we would have seen the first explosion in ACC.
ACC just straight up crash after that.
The first race is actually red flagged by the game itself.
The game is just like, stop. No, this is... Maybe recommend Wreckfest. It's
Aris walks out on track waving this big old red flag. No, had enough. Get off. Oh dear. A full wet. Is that you, Bender, in Gorilla's channel?
Have you ever seen Gorilla and Bender in the same room at the same time?
That is a good point. I've actually seen Bender in real life, so maybe I saw Babby. I don't know.
Did he have a great big bushy beard and no hair on the top?
Cannot confirm. We're simply men of culture.
So Samuel is in the pits at the moment, followed by Brad Cook as well, so we'll get an indication of where they come out in relation to Mr. Jacoman, as he's currently going through turn 5. Luckily not one of the... I think it's one of the longest pit lanes here. It's not too bad actually. Oh, he's in a great position, Samuel, there right at the end of the pit lane, so you won't be very slow after the stop.
Can we check if that safety car's got a handbrake on, please? Oh, you didn't see it, did you?
I saw him. I didn't actually see it on stream, but I saw him get disqualified.
Yes, he rolled out on the track.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that wasn't me.
That's funny, but I disqualified him. I think it's fair.
Okay, yeah, that seems very fair.
That's a first in my whole life.
Shady, he's moving already. He's a good distance ahead of Jacoman here, I would say. Probably a good 5-6 seconds. Not sure if Luca maybe had a bit of a slow penalty. Slow pit stop, sorry. Oh, 94 with an additional penalty while serving his previous penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So it's always good. I think it's called compounded interest or something like that. Not sure.
Yes, there you go, Jacoman. Minute 28, he was serving that 10-second penalty, so take off that 10. His pit stop was still 2 seconds slower than Shady's as well, so hence the gap. But still, how long have we got left? 20 minutes. Could be spicy towards the end of this race.
Yeah, it'll be... What is the interval there? Is that 3.2 or is that... Oh, there we go, 8.5. Okay. I mean, Luca has a lot of pace, but I'd be... Whoa, that was quite a little oopsie there. I'd be super, super impressed if Luca is able to close that gap to Samuel by the end of this race.
It's deep switch back here. No, didn't quite get that opportunity. I think everyone served their stop now. Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
I
think they just lost at the same time. We just lost it at the same time. That was interesting.
Spooked. Don't want to jump a couple. This has been a hard race to keep track of.
Just shout chaos and people will roughly understand what's happened.
JP, would you like to give the audience a recap of the race?
Chaos!
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
That is the
was
McLaren
steady.
losing control, and then it looked like Hugo had nowhere to go there.
Yeah, it seemed like the McLaren just stopped in the middle of the racing line.
Ooh, 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 ooh. That was quite a severe bonk there into the wall. I think that's Flatty back into the pits to repair damage. Yeah, Pete Viney running in P7. He'll be very, very pleased with that so far.
I'll show you what's happened here. It looks like Flatty has turned the car off. Mid-corner.
Oh no.
See, slowly.
Oh,
That is a very hard thing to predict as a driver behind, so lucky that they didn't also spin after that contact.
luckily
That's
that
all.
Bentley is a literal tank, so he just drove through him.
Get out of the way!
That's a lot of front end damage for Bentley. Or he chance.
Yeah, it's fine. The Bentley handles it. This but a scratch.
It's the speed hump.
Is it now? It was a fun car to drive. Like, it was so pointy. At least before the patch.
Yeah, it's one of my. I mean, that's the car I sort of main for quite a while. It's so much fun. I love the kinetics of the OSD. It's very manageable, but it's so slidey. It's just so much fun, and it sounds so good as well.
Yeah, it's got that personality.
I mean, a lot of people like it because you sit on the right side of the car, but I sit on the bonnet, so it's fine. Fastest lap made 42.9. Shady Samuel only a 10 slower than that, so great pace by the top two here. What was that, Mike? Sorry.
Oh yeah, you drive on the bonnet for the Bentley?
Yeah, it's bonnet cam. I use bonnet cam on all the cars. Yeah.
He's this guy.
Wait, really?
Yep.
You've upset
Hashtag
somebody.
bonnet cam is best cam. You can't say anything, you drive on a pad, so.
I'm speechless.
Velasquez has got no words. He's on a pad and he drives
Yeah.
with a helicopter cam.
The rear
No,
wing
I
cam,
don't.
yeah.
Nah, that's hard. Like, it's kind of hard to feel like what the car is doing. I just have to have the wheel in my field of vision. So, yeah, bonnet cam. That's interesting.
It's because we played GT Sport before we started playing this, and cockpit cam in GT Sport is garbage. So just got used to bonnet cam and stuck with it.
Yeah.
Works.
Ah,
I think
okay.
it's, and especially on a little bit of a slide there. Fowler is giving Barker a good challenge here. This might be an interesting run into turn one. Because I play on a fairly small screen as well, I think bonnet cam just gives you better visibility as well.
Oh no, yeah, I completely understand now. Yeah, given the context.
Looks for the old switcheroo, as Crofty would say. Doesn't quite pull it off.
Yeah, I use podcam when I play F1, basically so I can see the front of my car a little bit better, so I don't boot people. It's not an easier camera angle with a dash with a cockpit cam on F1. But GT cars, I'm in the cockpit, as on the dash cam, I can't look at my wheel, I have to look at my own wheel.
Same, yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing on a pad, I can understand having the wheel, but
Yeah.
yeah, anything on a
Yeah.
wheel, having an additional wheel is just, that's one too many wheels. So,
Yeah, understandable.
so the gap between Luca and Shady has come down by a second since the pit stop, and that's in 5 minutes. So, Shady Samuel is very much on for his second win in a row. Not trying to jinx that at all, but Fowler here looking to get into the top 5 as well, putting a lot of pressure on the back of Barker.
Good battle here.
It's such a tricky corner because there's like two very different lines through it, like one wide apex and one it's so easy to poke a nose in where it's not supposed to be and loop somebody.
Yeah. Which line would you take? The like round line or the double apex?
I generally take a tighter line in both that corner and the final corner. So I don't know. I drive quite different to like most people I watch. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm doing it wrong, but it works most of the time.
Yeah, it works. I mean, the groove is there, and it's like the racing line, the rubber on the track.
So these,
Oversteer.
looking at the top three here, they're just in a class of their own in terms of best lap times so far for this. I think we would have seen maybe Weatherburn and Raleigh also partaking in the fast laps, but sorry about that. That is my child screaming in the background.
Oh, that's cool.
Did they just watch the start back of this split?
He's been crying for like an hour, so it seems about right, I think.
That's fair.
That's an understandable reaction.
He's been quite moody all day, so I think he maybe felt like a disturbance in the force. He's been proven correct.
At least we know why, or at least we can speculate why.
It makes sense to me. This has been something else tonight for Split Becketts.
You can see Fowler again very close to him here, but not quite close enough to make anything happen. If I were to have one critique of this track, it is incredibly difficult to manage. Know that you need to put a lot of pressure on there, as we see. Pressure almost going off, but now he's on the wrong side, so it's not really worked out the way he would have liked.
Barker does have a 10-second penalty to
Okay.
his
Well,
name. So
Fair
Fowler, unless he's trying to catch Ben Vincent up, who's quite a few moments up the road. Oh, that's a lot. It was airborne.
so this battle is moo. It's a moo point.
Yeah. What's the gap there to... Savani's 13 seconds back. Savani won't be able to gain any positions here. So 5 BMWs in the top 6 is how it's looking at the moment. I think that's just the way the split worked out.
I mean, if you look at the drivers in the BMWs, like all of them are really fast guys, and
Yeah.
everybody else who was fast got murdered in the mass extinction event at the beginning of this race. So, ooh, that's a good little switcheroo. But again, places him on the wrong side of the track. The thing about this is if these guys keep battling like this, as you just said, 13 seconds,
Might
that
be
gap to
fighting,
Vining
yeah.
might come down, yeah.
Yeah, not something you want when you have a 10-second penalty.
Yeah, the thing is you're not technically battling for this position, but it might be smarter for Barker just to let Fowler through and see if he has better pace. Maybe follow him up the road a little bit. But yeah, that's a difficult decision to make because you might let him through and he'll be slower once he's through. So
Yeah, tough decisions, and you're doing this while driving and battling for position.
yep, absolutely. Just a shout out there to Mr. Conboy as well, up in P9, up 12 positions in this race. Great performance from him.
Yeah, I've been making some positions in the background. He was P12 in like the last 15 to 20 minutes. Now it's P9, so that's pretty amazing to see.
Yep. It's quite fascinating seeing there's only one driver in a field of 29. Okay, 2 of them have left the server, but one driver who's in the position who started him. Which is quite an interesting way of looking at it.
And that'll change. And that'll change because Manto's got 35 seconds of penalties.
5.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to drop below that, and then Hazam will move up a position.
At this rate, the Manto might go down a lap just based on penalties.
It's a very big chance. This car 12 picks up a 5-second penalty.
Bartlett gets past Choa as well, up into P16. Car 12. It's got off. That is Zulkifli.
Who's your driver of the day? Both of you.
I put my vote for P20.
Yeah, I've gone with JC to try and get some good juju for my race on Sunday. But Vaughn is P7, stellar race, Pro-Am.
Is he the lead Pro-Am at the moment? Or
No,
we can't see the classes on
That
this?
is Fowler, the one ahead of him.
Oh, it's Fowler. How is Fowler still a Pro-Am?
You tell me.
No, I don't. You make the classes.
Vincent is Am.
Yeah, okay, but that, I mean, yes, and I'm a skinny white girl, so it's just that some things aren't what they seem.
Are you? Oh, interesting.
Car 94 with a drive-through for track limits. That is Gary Lau. That is his second drive-through penalty. Well, the first one that he has to serve, but his second one of the day. Speaking of things going from bad to worse.
He was going so well as well, up 10. So Thurkalini's going to gain another position. Rochford is right on the back here of Chua. Rochford had a drive-through penalty as well, didn't he, for track limits early on?
Yes, he did, yeah. He was running with Viney. He was running about P9 at that stage when he got the drive.
Beautiful wobble.
Yeah, but the time gain on the brakes, though, that was amazing.
The Beamer is very good on the brakes. That's the one thing I will admit about it. You see Convoy trying to do it without the penalties, and he's behind the Porsche, so there's every chance that he'll just drive past him on a straight.
Convoy's one of those drivers that drives with one foot. He doesn't use his left foot to brake.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Does a great job for it. Probably would struggle a little bit more on the F1 game, but you can make it work here in these GTs as you do coast a little bit more. We'll have an absolute cracking race, even though his livery is disgusting. Hermanto doesn't like pineapple and pizza by that livery, so he's going to have his penalties removed.
I'm not sure about that because Samantha always has red livery.
No,
So-
shh.
No, yeah, and then no, don't bring your biases into this.
Holding you accountable.
If I remove the penalties, you still have penalties left. Big Shack. He's looking like he wants to pinch a couple of positions here on track. He's got to be careful though. That looks very internety.
Yeah, it seems like it.
He does usually have a fairly red ping bar as well, so it's always tricky getting into close racing situations with that.
Yeah, look at another monitor. He does. It's in the yellow, but it's below halfway. So
Pit window is closing down.
Okay, that's usually where our ping sits as well. From
not too
here,
bad.
so
Similar to Donaldi and Asnar.
assuming Zolkefli and Ristofani will be similar as well, if I recall correctly from the Enduro. So Convoy, he's sticking close to Hermanto, but just doesn't seem to have the outright pace to drive past him. Not sure whether Hermanto is maybe still carrying some damage or something from one of his incidents.
Pit stop award goes to David Barker with a 113. Previous race, I'm pretty sure Sneakers and Kyrudin both had a 1 minute 12. The two fastest pit stops I've seen tonight. Obviously,
That is
drive-throughs
fast
don't count.
indeed.
Oh, that's Audi just moving out of the way. I think.
Oh, 94 DSQ, 4 track limits.
Didn't serve the drive-through. That's why they dropped down the order.
Oh yeah, you're right. Disqualified, failing to serve, drive-through penalty.
Yeah, I repeat, going from bad to worse, but it doesn't get much worse than that.
Yeah,
Unless
they're
Harris comes
allowed-
to knock on your door and slap you home or something. That's about as bad as it gets in PCC.
Yeah, he was one of the top, not top guys. He's one of the guys who had gained a lot of positions as well.
Yep.
So that's unfortunate to see.
Convoy putting a lot of pressure on Hamato. Hamato not making any mistakes so far in this battle. See how close he is.
I like how I added that bit at the end.
I mean, it seemed realistic, so it's very close to him here. Will he be able to? Hamato is defending. Not quite sure what the point of that is, but trying to go around the outside. Old switcheroo. Parks it on the apex.
What a move there,
Nice.
JC!
Let's go.
Manto does have the inside now into turn 2. Manto, please don't go too deep under brakes. He does exactly
that,
what
didn't
I
he?
thought he was going to do.
Bump.
And Big Shaq.
Oh,
and
no.
Manto.
Oh no.
I mean, honestly, that is very unfortunate for JC there. Hopefully won't lose out too much more. Is that for position behind him? I don't think it is. Yeah, I think Hamato is just... He wants one of the... Oh, no, that's JC. What's happened there? There's... what? Was nobody close to him? That wasn't somebody else making contact, was it?
I don't think so. We have to take another look at that.
I think Hamato is going to need one of those Men in Black nebulizers just to forget that this race ever happened. It's not been his finest performance yet. JC got a drive through for track limits, it seems. Went wide there, turn 4.
Yeah.
When it rains,
Not
it pours, hey?
sure.
Yeah, he's got to drive through.
Not sure if he had some sort of conflict with an Audi, JC, and he went wide there. Maybe replayed it now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's from what they're saying in chat. I think he went wide there, turn 4, and then just got the drive through, and maybe he was just went off track to vent a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to get a drive through. Just a couple of minutes left in the race. Actually, under 1 minute left.
Leaders on final lap now.
So the gap to Viney from Fowler hasn't really come down, unfortunately, for Viney there, so it doesn't seem as though he'll get the position from Barker. Fowler still piling the pressure on, but Barker is putting the car in all the right places, making Fowler work for it. And Hamato has been disqualified. Car 296 as the day has come to an end. I think he won't feel too hard done by that.
Yeah, another disqualification for tonight. So on board with the leader of the race, seems to have led comfortably throughout the race.
Yeah, I think Samuel knew he had a fairly big gap after the pit stop, so he's been pacing himself, maintaining that gap as much as he can. Bartlett on the back of Damiano Firpellini. Dr. Taiki was just pointing out that Firpellini is up 15 positions, so he'll be looking to hold on to... Ooh, as I say that, never mind. That one's not on me, that one's on you, Don.
Race leader right behind.
Oh, no, never mind. What has happened here?
Oh no, he's going to follow it
wants to
through.
give up.
Okay.
4,000 IQ there. Vercolini lost out to David Bartlett. Great race there. Shady Samuel picks up P1. Giacomin P2. Cook, the first of another car other than a BMW, is going to pick up P3. And what a race. Give me that Men in Black visually memorizer, remover, whatever it's called.
Nebulizer.
I need one for about 6 of us. Please
I don't
no
know.
nonsense.
I want to keep these memories because that was fun.
Oh, it's on YouTube. Don't you worry about that. It's here. Until I delete it in about 20 minutes. No, it won't be deleted. These types of nights happen every now and then. And everything just sort of comes together. It's happened everywhere.
When you mean come together, you mean all the cars just bumping into each other.
Basically, yes.
Will he be able to make something happen here? Only has 2 corners to go. Not the easiest place for an overtake, but we have seen some drag races to the line here. Don't think Denaldi has made any mistakes there. Should be able to hold on to P9. Has them rounding out the top 10, but with Parker and the penalty, nothing should change ahead of them. Everybody went up a position after Hermanto got booted. Bartlett with the 10,000 IQ move on Vercolini on the previous lap comes around in P13.
What a race.
Well, of all the races I've seen, that was certainly one of them.
You
Yeah,
are not wrong
definitely.
there at all.
Jamie Conboy still crossing the line in P12, so still a 9 position gain for him by the end there. I think considering how this race went, he'll still be satisfied with that. As we see a 10-second penalty for 46, that is... Wasn't that Barker? No, that was
At this point of the night, I have no idea.
Fowler. So, yeah, that's... He's not going to gain that position on Barker then.
Let's just go through the final results here after an interesting evening. We've got Shady Samuel taking the win from Luca Giacomin, Brad Cook in P3. That is the overall results. In Pro-Am, George Fowler P1 with Pete Viney, great race there, Pete, and Demario Hasnam in P3. AM class, Ben Vincenter, Michael Donaldi, and Hugo Chan. Silver class, Brad Grant, class of his own, absolutely dominated tonight. Well done, mate. And thank you, safety car, for not releasing the handbrake during a race, resulting in a DQ. Thank you for joining me tonight, Michael Velasquez, on your debut. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Likewise, it's been a very fun race to commentate and spectate. Hope to see more of this as a commentator, not as a driver. And yeah, pretty
I'm surprised you want to be back after that, to be honest, but...
That's quite a way to pop your cherry, I would say.
Very much so. Thanks again, as always,
Yeah.
JP. Been a pleasure, mate.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Jed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like on the way out. And, see you next week for 90 minutes of Bathurst.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Good night,
Likewise.
everybody. Driver of the day for AP Becketts was Jamie Conboy, even with that unfortunate second last lap or third last lap. But anyway, signing out. See you again in about 12 hours for Europe. Oh, actually, about 8 hours for Europe. And then we've got about 12 hours time we have North America. Take care. Good night. Goodbye.
Cheers, guys.